Live from Queens, New York, Schmuel Buckman and Schmuel Talk. I am waiting for my co host, Mr. David Sarah, uh, who's actually working like a job. So I got this new mic, and there's no rubber. It makes a lot of noise every time I touch it. So if you hear a lot of noise tonight, I'm in my office, which happens on cloudy days to be in the flight path of LaGuardia Airport. So there's that. And then the joke around here is that don't worry about the planes because you won't be able to hear them for the trains. So, yeah, the 7 train runs near here. So this is all the introducing podcasts. Dan. Is this thing on? Is this thing on? It is, Dan. And it's super duper sensitive. So every time I touch it, it just makes shit tons of noises. So let me move it away a little bit. Even the keyboard and my mouse, my wedding ring, is clacking my mouse. So that's what's happening. Probably going to be a short show tonight. I don't know if when Dave is going to pop on, and we've had some topics. I kind of wanted to wait for him to do them. I love to talk about KB losing his mind, about Steel Toe taking a plea deal, which I'm dubious about, and some other random stuff, just thoughts of the week. Not the least of which is the Stuttering John thing. The dude had a podcast, right? The political show this week, and it's nothing. I haven't heard anybody talk about it. I guess it was probably on Shuli, but I didn't even notice it. And I, I'm just like how far, how far can you fall from grace? But it's just weird to me because he had such a good thing going with the internet, with Dabbleverse and his streaming. So I don't know what happened, man. But sorry, gonna be a little noise here. It's like, oh, this fucker. Um, oh wait, yes. So this is the other thing, right? So our buddy Cupcake is on here. Cupcake, if I can send you a link, let me know. But our boy was Cupcake took some pictures of SJ's house, man, and it is fucking gross. Like really gross. So I'm gonna try to find a quick pic here, and but man, like how do you live like this? And then my other issue, and this is like a big one for me, is you're a dad, right? Um, how do you? How, I mean, I understand you're a slob, blah blah blah, but you gotta like, you have kids, even adult kids. They shouldn't see this stuff. You shouldn't be putting this out there for the world to see. But he can't help himself, and it's just insane. So let me put up. Let's see if the best way to do this, I guess, is this way. So I'm gonna present it. Present. Share screen. And this, I'm hoping y'all can see it. This is full screen here. Maybe it's a little better. So it's John's living room table, the table he used to broadcast from. And this is now somebody didn't sneak in and take this picture, right? This was somebody he invited to his house. So, like, how do you do that? And then I'm in the wrong place. Let us start. I'm an idiot. And this is John's, well, we call it a cum rag. I don't know whether you would call it a cum rag, but we call it a cum rag. And holy shit. I'll get back to that in a bit. So I don't know. So in any event, the guy had a great thing going, right? He was bringing in, he was netting about 60 grand a year. Now, I know all you people are like, it's not a lot of money. It's not a lot of money. It isn't a lot of money, but I'm sure he gets other money, and 60 grand is nothing to sneeze at. You can buy a lot of Miller Ultra Lights or whatever the fuck he drinks um, with $60,000. And yeah, I don't know, man. I'm like, there's a lot of child stars, there's a lot of former stars. They'd love to be making 60 grand. And you don't have to leave your house? I mean, that's wonderful. But so he does these political shows, and I don't know that anybody watches other than people trying to make fun of Karam and Ojeda and John. And John's an idiot. We've established that over and over again. He's a headline reader, right? I've said this before. I heard somebody use this the other day. So somebody I know was watching me. It's a guy who always reads the headlines, never reads the article. Um, he reads the headlines, and I'm sure he's reading the headlines on like uh, an MSNBC website or some lefty website, and he doesn't know what is really happening. He just knows what they said, and so, or what the headline was, or what they're saying about it. And one of the things, if you follow me on Twitter, I constantly ask for attribution. Because there's a lot of bullshit out there. And there's a lot of bullshit particularly now that Trump is president, a lot of these right wing guys who are just as bad as the left wing people, and uh, not politically so much, but just in the grift, right? They want to say things to you that get you upset, and they're looking for engagement. They don't fucking care whether it's true or false or any of that stuff. And so I like to ask for attribution. John will never be able to give you attribution because he has no idea what the fuck is going on. Um, Karam has sold his soul. I always have a feeling like these guys get invited to the best parties out in LA, and they don't want to do anything to ruin that. So we get a Brian Karam. And he used to be he was a legitimate journalist at one time. Um, so I don't know what happened. And Ojeda, I guess he was in Iraq, and Afghanistan, and not to minimize service. Um, I think he definitely had a head wound. This guy's got CTA, and because he's just batshit crazy. So I was laughing when I saw that he was running for Congress, and some PAC had actually given him money. And I thought, oh, they must think he has a chance to win. And when we looked up the district, I think it's like went 88% for Trump. So essentially, there is no chance to win. He's a lunatic. Let him just be up there. And that's what they're gonna do. So I don't get it. What is going on with my chat? So I got nothing, then all of a sudden two popped up at the same time. Uh, Detroit by Dark is asking, what about Don Barris? And I have no idea. I think that's the guy that Dave doesn't like, but is that the same Barris that had like the Gong Show? And then I've got Leo Gunn. Brian thinks he's funny with his Rodney impressions. Oh, wait. All right. So wait, I got it. These are two different people. I'm a fucking idiot. Um, yeah, Brian does Brian does a comedy show, a comedy political show, I guess once a month out in LA with Hal Sparks. And from what Dave was telling me, they clear about 5 grand on each of these shows. So somebody wants to see him. That blows me. It just blows me away. But so a lot of these, and a lot of people, they're nice people, right? Like I picture I'd get along with Brian Karam. I think he's a personable guy, seems like a decent guy. Um, and I think he's a political hack and he sold his soul to that side to make a living. But I guess if you get him in front of an audience of like-minded, true believers, they think he's wonderful. And Hal Sparks, talented guy. Also find him tiresome and annoying, but he's a talented guy. Anybody that can hold an audience for any length of time always blows me away. I certainly can't do it. And but a guy like Hal, he's got a radio show. It's a successful radio show, and we'll get back to whatever success means in radio. And that's my lighter clicking. And oh, there he is. So we're gonna hear, not hear, but we're gonna see my pal chatting. I don't think he can come on air. Apparently, you can't live stream while rubbing lotion on an ass. So this, Leo, if I had thought about this before the show, I would have pulled up um, some of his comedy. I don't know what the kid's first name is, but man, he's awful, just awful. And if Dave is by his computer, maybe he can do something. I don't know what Brian Karam's kid's name is, but the there's a notion in comedy, right, that you talk about your life, which is cool, but you have to make it funny, right? Like it's got to have a punchline, it's got to have all that stuff, and the guy doesn't. He tells stories about his family and his ADHD and his whatever, but he's 30 something years old, and you're like, get your shit together. All of us have something. We've all got Wyatt. Yes, Stalin. Thank you. Stalin, if there's a Wyatt clip out there, you can put it in. You tell me where it is in the chat. I'll go find it. But man, it's just tiresome. And it is a lot of there's a lot of left wing or woke comedy, I guess we'll call it here. Um, uh, I guess there was a lot of. There was a lot of woke comedy here. This is like the guys that Ray performs with a lot in these like Williamsburg clubs and stuff. And they're really not. It's not humorous. It's just stories, and it's anything from the woman who has sex uh, way too often and on the subway and feels bad about it and can't find love, um, to the guy that to the guy to the guy who's like fat guy, and then all we're gonna do is listen to fat guy jokes. That's something that drives me absolutely fucking bananas, right? Um, and I liken it back to, God, I can't remember his name. There used to be a handicapped comedian that I would see in New York, and he's all fucked up. Like he's got cerebral palsy, and he's small, and physically he's all fucked up. He starts doing his show, never mentions his physical appearance, and about a minute, 2 minutes into it, he's so good, you forget all about it. And that's the kind of comedy I want to see. I didn't like when we were at Hackamania, the dude Kool-Aid, I think was his name, um, who I thought was a woman when he first came out. I really thought it was this big giant woman, and only after he told us he wasn't a woman did I know he wasn't. But it was he did a set, I'm gonna say 15, 20 minutes, and it was all fat people set. It was like, he's fat. He's fat. The difficulties of being fat, fat getting in there. Um, uh, oh my God, to talk about this. Um, uh, in any event, that's the kind of shit. But it's all like, it's the crap that passes for comedy here. So, hopefully we don't have to do that. I am distracted. I'm distracted. I'm distracted. Mama B, Mama B, I don't know who you are, but I have to laugh. All right. Mama B, first chat. Schmuel, I was sorry to hear Pat trashing you on his show last night. You didn't deserve that. Wow, why was Pat trashing me? Was because I was on the other night and he was calling me a liberal and um, whatever. I had a lot of fun. I had a really fun time on that show. And when I got off, um, I heard Pat say something like it was bad. Um, or the show was boring or something like that. I think that was because Doug didn't come. I don't I certainly didn't take it as a personal affront. But here's next. Pat Dixon was trashing Schmuel for being a nobody compared to him and was angry that Schmuel offered to share clips of Pat's content to help him get more visibility. It was disgusting. Well, I thought that might happen, and I didn't mean for it to happen. That was never my intention. I might be able to pull. Let me just see if I have the text messages here. But uh, wow, he didn't. Uh, I don't know. He didn't get mad at me in a text. Shit, I'm setting my microphone on fire. Can you see the smoke coming off my microphone? Fuck. Only Schmuel could set his microphone on fire. It's actually a pretty cool effect. Maybe if I could get smoke to come out of there. And I wanted to get a colored one anyway, and I didn't want to spend the $13 on a mic popper, stopper, whatever the fuck you call it. Oh man. So here's the. I'll just do this. Now I'm gonna trust that you're telling me the truth, but I love Pat. I think Pat's one of the funniest people in the world, and God, he's such a great writer. We had talked about Tommy on his show, and I was goofing around that I could do we could do a rewrite of Tommy where the kid is born and he becomes um, deaf, dumb, and blind, and because of his deaf, dumb, and blindness, he's a liberal, super liberal, and they bring him around everywhere, and then um, at the end he at the end he wakens up and he realizes he's a Trump supporter. And but Dixon is so much funnier than I am. I uh I write. This is the Tommy part, right? Child is born all wide-eyed and bushy-tailed. Sees two black men kill his dad, becomes a deaf, dumb, and blind liberal, thinking his dad was at fault. Through pinball, he through pinball and smashing the mirror, he breaks free and he becomes a Trump supporter and conservative president. And then I write, better, Tommy becomes world famous Greta Thunberg type. He's on stage at the WEF. They bring him over to the podium to display as a disabled man on their side. In desperate need of, a disabled man on their side in desperate need of a globalist help. Once at the mic, he wakes up and gives the greatest conservative speech ever. Oh man, I apologize, guys. Once at the mic, he gives the greatest conservative speech ever, and the audience does the one clap to many, and then everyone standing to cheer. It ends with Klaus Schwab taken out on a rail. And That was me. Dixon, who's fucking hilarious, writes, Tommy becomes aware and his pinball scores plummet. He's filled with sexual dysfunction from being molested, and seeing Uncle Ernie for the first time fills him with disgust. He becomes dependent on marijuana and cough syrup to sleep and dull the edges of pain. But it's no use. Finally, he gouges his own eyes out, cuts out his tongue, and goes too deep with Q-tips until he can't hear a fucking thing. In a modern twist, he sets a new speed record, beating the latest Legend of Zelda game. More importantly, he can come now without feeling chest hair against his cheek. That's fucking funny. So, and this was just texting back and forth. So, in any event, what the deal was with Pat, um, and if he gets upset with me, it is what it is. I said I was talking about he'd done this. He does a Godfather thing where he replaces words, and it's hilarious. And I said, "You were hilarious." I said, "Well, you had me laughing out loud. I thought they were hilarious." As you know, I don't know how to clip, but if you do clip your show at all and you want me to put them up to try to get your name out there, well, that's exact. I said, well, I meant not not out there, but back in circulation. Um, and he said, "Glad you like it." And then I made a comment. He has a great astronaut suit, and I said I was a little disappointed that his astronaut suit did not have the stars and bar flags on it. And he said the Confederacy space program was disappointing, which I responded to was, but with Trump, all things are possible. Of course, kidding around. So Dixon's great. And if he took that as an insult, not much I can do about it. I will let him know. And it probably could have been phrased better. But really, what I meant was um, if I could get clips of Dixon, I would put them up. And only because he's sort of disappeared um, from YouTube and other places. And I think he's just a great comedian. And I, you know, I wish he was back out there, man. I had so much hope for the Hackmania thing, thinking that like this was going to be his resurgence. But um, Pat is a unique individual, which is what makes him so good at comedy, and he just does what he wants to do, and it's quite amazing. So, um, Mama Bay Schmuel, he excoriated you for this gesture of generosity and kindness. It was sickening. And of course, Doug and Taz laughed, as is expected of them. It's fine. Um, I rarely get insulted by somebody that I admire as much as Pat, so that's cool. And but what can I tell you? You know, again, I obviously don't think I'm better than him or bigger than him. Look, I grovel thanking you guys for 117 subscribers or whatever it is. I'm thrilled that you're here and I'm blown away that you do it. So there we go. So I just yeah, fucking amazing, man. Um Whatever, but I will chat text Pat after the show and we'll see what happens. I text him now, but he won't come on. So why not? Um Schmuel, it's a great character trait not to take things personally. Everyone in this space could learn from your example. Like, I'm an old man who has no business being on any kind of microphone. So um such is the way it is. And I do love to tell the story that um, the trolls, I don't want to say they saved my life, but they certainly helped me. I had trolls insulting me uh, about my skin, um, rosacea, and this and that. And went to a dentist. I'm a fucking idiot. So I went to the dermatologist And I was like, is there something I can do about this? And when they looked at my skin, they were like, oh, you've got precancerous lesions all over your face and you need to have them removed. And that was done. And, now I'm going to live a long life without, you know, cancer wounds on my face or something. So thank you to the trolls. Um, all right. Leo Gunn, Pat's problem still sleeping. I don't fault anybody for that. That's my biggest problem. I never feel like I get enough sleep. Um, but Pat, I people talk shit about Pat, but I talk to Pat at all hours of the day. Um, we're in the day and things like that, and we talk back and forth. Well, we have, I guess, until now, and he's awake. I don't know that I've ever called him at noon or 11 in the morning or whatever, and I get phone calls from him at 1, 2 in the afternoon. So, um, I think part of the Pat stuff is overstated, and I never trust anything in the Dabbleverse because these fuckers are always trying to knock you down. Everybody's. We'll talk about Brennan in a sec, but and this is how we're going to get there. Everybody here feels this need to knock down the next guy, right? And if they could just take him out, then as a great philosopher once said, blowing out another's candle does not make yours shine brighter. And that's what these fuckers don't understand. Like, what's going to happen if Ray goes away? Is Chad going to do better? No. But yet, that's what Chad wants, right? Chad wants Ray gone. Chad wants Ray gone. And oh man, I get blown away by it. I'm having trouble watching um, Brennan, just the vitriol with which he's going after Kumia and Shuli. Um, he's broken. Like he is just fucking broken. I don't know how else to put it. It's and the great thing about having Chad is Chad's like your amen chorus, right? Chad is the guy that Chad no matter what Kevin says, Chad is going to agree with, right? He's not going to disagree with him. And it's interesting because you could see Chad was terrified of Brennan thinking that the Shuley thing was real, where Shuley said he was inviting him over. So, look, some people are deserving of criticism, right? The Stuttering Johns, the Steel Toes of the world. Um, those guys, they deserve it because of what they do and the way they are. Um, but Anthony, and for the reasons that you're going after him, because he's having some success. One of the big things that we don't get in this universe is that people live a certain way and it gives them joy. And it's not the way that we would live, but it's the way that they would live or they do live. And that's it's just, it blows me away. So I'm going to put up my friend. I like Stalin. Could be Stallion, but I like Stalin as in Stalag. Schmuel, he's been shitting on them, plus others for years. It's a revolving cycle of hate. Yeah, no, I know it is. I know that Kevin's always been. Look, the name of his show was Burning Bridges. I get it. I get it. But the thing is it's like he used to move on. I mean, he had people he didn't like, but he used to move on. And this is like, uh, he's got 5 days a week. And in that 5 days, it's a rotation between Shuley, Anthony, maybe Levy. It's the same people over and over and over again. And I am just going to pop him up here. And
Yo,
hey, And I just I don't get it. I was like watching it. I don't know how anybody watches it. So yeah, Schmuel says this all this before he takes up running. I swear to God, man, I was thinking of stream sniping, Kevin, just to be a fuck. The problem is that I have an actual job, and I can't, like, I can't. So that's the deal. But I thought it would be really funny. Um, Dave Sarah, nothing has changed other than no guest. I'm changing that with Jeff Dye. Dude, he had Doug Stanhope on and was annoyed, right? Because all KB wants are super chats. Stanhope was interesting and uh, doing what comedians do, telling his funny stories, etc. And Kevin was annoyed because it was going on too long and there was no money. So fuck that. Mint diggity, Schmuel, you're new. I know I am. I know I am. But in any event, that's the deal. We'll get back to we'll get back to that, and I'm gonna do one thing for 1 second. Hold on there, Cupcake.
Right on.
Sorry, I have a runny nose and nobody wants to see me doing it. Um, do you watch Do you watch Brennan at all?
Sometimes, if there's nothing else on, I'll turn him on. Just to have something playing in the background.
He really does have that 4 p.m. spot sewn up,
Yeah.
right? Um, and he is talented. I mean, we and he's got a lot, and there's people that like him. But um, I put up some numbers today on Twitter. He's definitely in a downward trend, but it's not downward. It's just not up. I guess is probably the way we're supposed to put it.
So
Or the
so he's
op,
plateaued.
or the op. No, it's down. His numbers are
Oh, okay.
down. His super chat numbers look like they're fine, and I did send Eckel the link, but Eckel never fucking oh, look at that. Wait. Joe, uh, I hope I didn't dare just dox you there, buddy. But the pineapple is joining us.
Hey, what's up, man?
How's it going? I was in the background the whole time, so good work.
Well, you gotta instead of saying send me the chat, you just say I'm here, asshole.
No, I was putting it there so you might look and be like, "Oh shit, he's been here the whole time."
Oh, I didn't realize that. Um,
Evening.
all right. So this is the deal. Schmuel. This is from Affy. If you can't figure out KB is doing angry man shtick, I don't know what to tell you, pal. Uh, I'm gonna tell you, I don't think it's shtick. I think he's legitimately angry. I think there's shit going on, and he's a- he's angry. Now I think that there is a shtick. I think that's the way it started. But then I think it's the acting become real. What do you think there, Cupcake?
I think it's probably half and half. You know, he's uh he's adding salt to taste a little bit better. That's a phrase in Spanish. Le están echando sal. He's adding salt so that so it'll taste better. So it'll I don't think it's like Perry Caravello. Like I don't think he's you know it's kind of it's half and half, I'd say.
I don't get the I totally don't get the whole Perry Caravella thing.
Either.
But when I was in Pottstown, man, it was let's say there were 250 people there. I'm going to tell you that 150 of them were there for Perry. Like that was the thing. I talk about there was a meet and greet after, right? So you had Anthony Cumia, Bob Levy, the Potato, Shuley, even Eso, and you had Perry Caravello. The other guys could have just stood around swinging dead cats. They wouldn't have hit anybody. And Perry Caravello was mobbed. So, but I don't get it. It is. But then again, that's why they make vanilla and chocolate. So
Right.
I get to choose. Mr. Pineapple, what's going on over in Great Britain?
Nothing too much. Just set up my new headphones. So I thought I'd go on some idiot's stream to see if they work, and they work perfectly. So
So what? He wasn't
Fantastic.
available, and you came here?
yeah, let's go with
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
That's why.
And
And so
what kind of
I've
head?
got it. Oh,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead. Sorry.
No, you go. You
No,
go.
I was gonna say I got some interesting things to say, man. So yesterday I was in West Virginia. I'm in Miami right now,
We'll be the
and
judge of what's interesting. Go
all right.
Mhm.
So I went to this one museum. There was a monster museum. This town Flatbush. They had like a local alien that showed up on September 12th, 1952. So that's kind of the motif of the town. Then down the block they had a Bigfoot museum. And dude, there were some people in there, and those are the weirdest people in the history of weird people. Apparently, there's people who live in that town who have a pod of 8 Bigfoots that live on their property. And this lady was just going, it's on my channel. Like, this lady was just going on and on about how, yes, well, they trade with the Bigfoots, and they're mostly nice. They, dogs don't like them, and they keep the black bears away. But it was super strange, dude. It was super strange. These two guys were there, like getting into it, like, oh yeah, is that, asking all these questions, and then on the chat, Nimrob sends in a chat and says, "Ask him what's the plural of Bigfoot." So I was like, "What's plural of Bigfoot? Is it Bigfoots or big feet?" And the lady was going, "No, the plural is Bigfoots because And she's going like on with this long-winded explanation about how it's Bigfoots.
Retired English teacher. That's funny.
Is his picture frozen, or is it on my side?
Oh no, my picture is. That's wild.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I
can you hear
thought
me
he was
though?
just really bored. I thought
you
he was
able to-
really
Right.
bored with your
Are
story.
you able to hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
That's wild. I'm using my
shut up! I'm
you
on a
know what?
stream.
I am streaming from a Pocket
Potato.
3, and I gonna guess that the Pocket 3 overheated, which I've heard
God
could
damn it.
happen. So
Every time.
we will get there in a minute. So you'll do me without camera for a minute, and
Guess so.
I'll be here.
Somehow we'll survive. So what?
I'm-
Why are
I'm
you so pissed off
funny
with
enough-
KB? I must have missed this. What happened? All of a sudden you've been posting shit about KB and his numbers. Did he say something about you? Did he yell at you? What
No,
happened?
not about me at all. I just he's doing fine. He's doing fine. He keeps telling everybody how he's doing fine.
Mm.
So I just
I
happened
told you,
to
shut up.
look. What the hell is that? Cupcake?
That's the broad I
What is
got in the
that?
back there. She won't shut her
Yeah.
mouth.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Come on,
All right.
Schmuel.
As long as it's not Mrs. C, we guess we're okay.
Mhm.
So
Back.
no, I don't know. I was just getting annoyed. There was too much bullshit going on with him, and I don't like watching him. There's not much else on at 4 o'clock, and I got annoyed. So
Okay.
and
Fair enough.
who's making that
Could always
noise? Is
watch.
that me?
You could always watch TSN.
No, it's probably me.
TSN
Twitter,
wasn't on.
like-
I don't think they're on it.
I was
4.
joking. Why would anyone watch TSN anymore? No offense, TSN.
To tell you the truth, I've watched it the last couple of days, but
Really? Has it been any good? What did they do?
Mostly because it was on, and hold on a second. I'm gonna try to pull that camera out.
Hmm. Yeah. Mint Diggity's got it down. Imagine not liking KB, but surely he's fun. I don't like KB, but I think KB is humorous. He definitely has a funny bone in him for sure. It's not unbelievable that he was a successful comedian for a certain period of time.
Right.
Whereas
Exactly.
I quite like Shirley. To be fair, I've never really had a bad experience with Shirley. I just think he's way too defensive, way too secretive, and it comes across really badly. But if it doesn't matter to him, then who cares, I guess. Yeah. And that's what the pineapple
Yeah, I
thinks.
mean,
There you go, everyone. I know you
yeah.
all wanted to know.
No, I met Shuli at DabbleCon. He's pretty. I mean, he's a nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm back.
Again, be
Thanks.
Oh,
quiet.
thank God, Schmuel.
When you say defensive and secretive about Shuli, what do you mean?
In general, I just mean I watched him for quite a while, so there would be things where, fucking Vince would be trolling in the chats, for ages and ages, asking something specific, and instead of maybe addressing it to the people early on and just being like, "Yeah, this is what happened," or "Fair enough, we did some little bit that wasn't that funny or didn't work very well," he would just be like, "Oh, well, really, is it? Well, what does Bob think about it?" Or just kind of diverting it slightly, when sometimes I think it'd be better to just address certain things head on and go, yeah, my audio on my super tips didn't work the other day, and I called myself out for being a hypocrite for taking the piss out of Joey, and then it's done. That's the end of it. That's all that has to happen. But yeah,
That's funny. I don't.
Mm.
I don't know. I don't find him any different than anybody else. But
Okay,
you know,
fair enough. I used to watch him quite a lot, so the one out of the things that I enjoyed watching from him, that was one of the things that I was like, you're a bit too much like this, in my opinion. But what do I know?
I thought he was okay. I just, what got me was the super chats that the show just became so super chat heavy. It was like, look, I'm not going to sit here for 40 minutes while you go through the super chats.
Yeah,
And
victim of your own success, though, right? But all I
Right.
used to do was skip it to 30, 40 minutes and then start watching the show. Well,
Right.
when I wanted to watch the show, so it
Right.
didn't make
Yeah.
a massive difference.
I think that's what we've all done. So you guys are seeing my office because
Oh,
my
yeah.
virtual background is not working. So there we go. Hopefully I'm not I don't really dox anything. I don't think I have anything back there. And
Yeah.
you
Nothing
can see my
interesting.
old dog, which is about what's really exciting back there.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about Julie. Look,
I don't even mean it in a bad way. I just mean I don't like KB, but I think he's naturally funny. I like Shuli. I don't think he's naturally that funny. That's just my opinion. And that's that.
yeah, I don't think Shuli's. Look, I don't think Shuli's naturally funny either. Certainly not
Mm.
like KB. But
Mhm.
I can appreciate what he's done with the talent that he has. Right?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. That's more impressive. Yeah, for sure.
uh, I'm into that. I just the Kevin thing that I just it's like he's always fought with people, right? I mean, it's his character. That's what he does. But lately, it just seems like now it's personal. I don't know how personal it was in the past. And when you keep telling me you don't care, you keep telling me you don't care, the more I think, well, you care, right? Or else you wouldn't go on about it.
Well,
Yeah,
here's
true.
my
But what? Go on.
Go
no,
ahead.
go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry. No, I was gonna say here's my
No,
thing
go on.
with Kevin. He seems to be what I call being shut the fuck up. I'm talking. He seems to be becoming like George Carlin esque, where when George Carlin was a younger comedian, he was funny. He would be funny. But then as George Carlin got older, he turned into a curmudgeon comedian, where everything got him mad, and then he would just like I don't like curmudgeon comedians. I don't like the curmudgeonly. I'm turned off by that, and I think that's what KB's kind of turning into, just being a curmudgeon.
I think we've got to realise, though, we were talking earlier about that Perry Caravello or what have you, who would get hundreds of people turning into his show, and his type of humour is spaz out, or his kind of act is to spaz out. KB's act, to be fair to him, has always been, burn bridges, be a mean bastard,
True.
cause conflict. And he's still doing that. And sure, he's less successful than he was a year ago, but I think everyone is in the Dabbleverse, to be fair, to a degree.
Right,
Well,
but
the bigger bigger players at least.
But KB was a successful stand-up comic. I mean, the guy,
Sure.
you know, he was a high,
Was Bob Levy not technically a successful
he was a
stand-up
headliner.
comedian for a bit? Yeah.
I don't think Bob was as successful as Kevin.
No. Okay. Yeah. But...
Look, my feeling about Bob is that Bob was a headliner, but he had limited appeal. And Kevin could go in front of. Kevin is just naturally funny. Kevin could go in front of any audience and be funny.
Bob's naturally funny as well. Different type of funny for sure.
But
different type of funny. But
right. But Kevin can capture, doing, whether it's the podcast or whether it's stand up, Kevin can capture your interest. Bob's podcast, I find it hard to watch. It just doesn't go on.
Yeah.
And this is what I meant. This is what I was. Chairman Meow put it better than I could. Bob was a regional New York City, New Jersey comic, and KB was like
that's fair.
A real comic.
Yeah, I don't think that's fair. Schmuel saying a real comic. There's different levels,
Okay,
I wouldn't say you're not a real comic. Like, surely, as you enjoy other comedians, maybe not as big as what KB was back in his day, you wouldn't not call them a real comedian to their face.
Right, I wouldn't. Listen, we could argue about the real. What I mean by real is a national comic, a guy who can go on the Tonight Show or Conan or could speak at the Ladies Auxiliary kind of thing, and I don't see Bob doing that. So I don't know. Could say more successful comedian, more appealing comedian. Real was just a word. It's not that I don't think Bob is not a real comedian, but I've seen Bob perform, and I think part of the difference is the crowd. Bob was a crowd work comedian to me, and it didn't seem like there was a lot prepared. He was like naturally funny, so you see him, and he's hilarious, and then you see him the second time, and it's kind of funny. It's still a little bit funny, but by the third time, I'm like, oh, there's a guy in a wheelchair. We're going to do that. There's a black guy. We're going to do that. There's an Asian guy. We're going to do that. We're going to talk about dicks. We're going to talk. And to me, it was like, if he had a new audience, it was fantastic. If he had an old audience, not so much. And I don't know a lot about Brennan, but from Brennan, I understand that, Brennan could do anything in any of those venues.
Well, Big J Oakson is a massive crowd work guy, and he's doing pretty damn good with it. So, yeah, I think, to be honest, how many people really go and watch the same comedian 2 or 3 times a year? Like, fair play, if you listen to a lot of comedians, fair enough. But in general, if I saw a guy once every other year, I'd be like, that's fine. That's enough for me. Like, unless I really love their stuff, then I wouldn't need to go see him again in the same year.
I figure that Big J Okerson mixes in a lot of written jokes, and that's part of what makes him
probably more.
And
but yeah,
I usually
his stand up is specifically crowd work, though, from what he says.
Well, I don't think it was specific. I think it was a mix of both. And I've seen Aaron Berg 4 times in the last year. Oh shit! I'm setting everything on fire tonight. I've seen Berg. I'll tell you the story in a minute. I've seen Berg, and Berg is a crowd work comedian. But in the 4 times I've seen him, he does some of the same jokes, but a lot of his stuff is new. It was new every time. And he seems
How old is he?
Different. He's
40,
50? 50? I think he's
okay.
About 50.
Bob's in his 60s, so
right.
I don't know.
I know. Well, I'm glad
might still be trying to make.
I'm glad you're here defending Bob.
Might still be trying to make it. Well, I like Bob. Bob's a likable guy. Like, I don't think there's that many people who don't like Bob. There's some people who don't like his show, which is fine, or maybe don't like his stand-up, which is fine. But even the people who kind of can't stand his show probably wouldn't hate him. Like, it's quite hard to dislike But
right. And I wasn't, and I wasn't
I
personally
can't believe
insulting
you said all
Bob
that bad
Levy.
stuff about him.
Oh
I
my
can't believe you
God.
said all that bad stuff about Bob Levy and
Oh,
Pat Dixon.
yeah. Nobody listens, and nobody for a show that nobody listens to. Some people get sensitive,
Mm.
but what do you call it? No, Bob is a nice guy. I like Bob. I just, there are things about Bob that I, I get it. My thing is, I always get annoyed at people that have a talent and don't use it, right? And I know when it came to DabbleCon 2, Bob came out. He was pissed off because they didn't let him do as much as he wanted to do. But I was talking to him outside, and he said they wanted him to prepare stuff. And he's like, I don't prepare anything. I don't prepare anything. And it was like he was proud of that. And
Mm.
I get, you're doing a show, you have time constraints and stuff. So it was like they wanted, it really felt to me like he thought he should have been glorified more and put up more. And it wasn't. And that's what really
Mm.
insulted him, not the wife not getting a chair. But I mean,
Yeah, I didn't like that story. I didn't like that bit. I was like, who cares? I know it sounds horrible, but like, I would be like, fair enough, but I don't think I'd ever mention it. I'd just be like, right, next time, don't go. Like they're rude to you, don't go. That would be it for me.
right.
And
Right, right.
maybe I'd make a shitty comment to them when their wife sits down, maybe, but that would be it. I wouldn't like say it on
Right,
the podcast and
right.
stuff.
Is that chair
Yeah.
comfortable you're sitting in right there? You know?
Yeah, look, they had Melton in the back of the room, right? Melton sat in the back of the room because of the way the room was set up. I was sitting
Unexpected.
over. I've never figured out whether
Mm.
it's stage right or stage left. So
Mhm.
if you were standing on the stage looking out, I was to the left, and there was a comics table right near me. What's the guy with the high Eric? Is it Eric the high pitch guy?
High
Um,
pitched Eric.
high pitch Eric.
Yeah, yeah.
See how
Luda
much.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was
They look
he
so
was over
similar.
near me, but there was
God,
seats
he
there.
does look like Eric.
There were seats there. But
Yeah.
Eric is a pisser, man. Eric fucking says Eric's behind me, right? And I can hear Eric ordering. And he ordered a bunch of food, like a shit ton of food. I'm like, how the fuck is this guy gonna ever eat this food? Well,
Crowd
at the
right.
at the end of the night, it was hilarious because they came with a check. And I'm paying. He was very upset. And
Oh, I gotta pay for this.
I gotta pay for this. He was, and he was getting pissed off because they didn't acknowledge him. He wanted to come up on the stage. He eventually did something with Joey C,
I
which was sort of
recorded that.
Okay.
after the stuff ended. But he was pissed. You were there, Cupcake.
Yeah.
So yeah, so Eric was sitting like right behind me, and it was just, and he left. He was pissed off and left, like he didn't come back. And but he was
Mm.
really mad at Levy. Speaking of, he was really mad at Levy because Levy was ignoring him and trying to get him to shut up. So, that was interesting. But in any event, I'm not here to shit on Levy, but I'm not here to wash his balls either. So
Mhm, mhm.
I'm just telling you what I feel, and you're allowed to have your own opinion. But I don't
Thanks,
know.
Schmuel.
I
I
feel like
appreciate
KB
that.
is breaking. Well, you're allowed to, yes, on this show you can have your not only can you have your own opinion, we'll let you have your own opinion.
Wow.
And
That is
so
rare. That doesn't normally
isn't that
happen on these
fantastic?
YouTube channels. Yeah.
It's not like a
Right.
WATP show where we all have to sit. All right, guys.
WATP.
You guys talk for a
Sorry.
second because I kicked the plug out.
Uh-oh.
Schmuel is a professional. This is how you run a show. He's teaching us all the ways to do it. So, Cupcake, tell me more
Yes.
about Big Feet. No, Bigfoots. Sorry.
Bigfoots. Well, this place was actually pretty cool. They did have quite a few plaster casts of actual of footprints, and I mean, they must have had 50 or 60 plaster casts of actual footprints of the Sasquatches. And then shut up.
Send Mint the link. Send Mint the link.
I've asked Mint I've asked Mint a dozen times to come on. He doesn't want to, but he
Mm.
does have
Oh.
my phone number.
Mm. Well,
Yeah, the Bigfoot place is interesting.
oh, good.
So let's
I
get
don't believe those
Make,
animals
make sure.
exist.
Oh, for sure. Make sure you follow Cupcake's channel. He does lots of fun, interesting little streams whilst he drives around the country.
Thank you,
Cupcake.
Dear.
Pineapple.
No
Yeah,
problem. Schmuel, hurry up. Come on.
Cupcake is also.
Host your show, you amateur.
Oh, I'm hosting my show. You guys are talking.
Not far off, Mama V. Not
Oh my
far off.
God.
It's
You know,
fine. I'm engaging. I'm
sorry
engaging with the chat.
I'm sorry we don't do Joey C stuff here. You know.
Oh yeah. Here we go. Little dig. Oh, I'm terribly sorry. Terribly sorry that we do a show on Joey C. I'm so sorry. Maybe we
Joey
should
C
do it
had
on Ray and say how great Ray is. Fuck me.
Joey C had the audacity to say that I copy his show content.
You do nothing. You do nothing like Joey C.
I know.
Joey has content. All right, Mint. I'm gonna answer this.
Joey creates content.
Mint diggity.
He is content.
Schmuel acting like KB's better now. He never liked him. And Schmuel is also a Pat Dixon fan. I'd love to call in about it. And we can do that, but let's give a minute. Let me answer that.
Can I address Mama B in a second? Yes,
you may. I never disliked KB in the beginning. I grew to dislike KB. I thought KB was pretty funny, and I thought most of this was I just thought it was an act, right? Like I thought it was a character. I always get weirded out when I can't figure out where the character ends and the person begins. That's
right.
That's where I get fun. And okay, before you answer the question, Mr. Pineapple, where is Bromley?
So it's by London. It's very close to London. So if you're talking to Americans, you'd probably just say London to reference it. You know, it's that close that it's not big enough that you wouldn't say. So I'm originally from Kent. I was also in Essex for a bit, but now I've moved up north. There you go. Doxed myself good and proper for you. But I just thought it was quite impressive. All the places they put in the list, very specific places, were places that I know that were quite close to where I live. So, yeah, exactly, Mama B.
Right. Hey, Mint, I corrected the word bitter to better because I thought that's what you meant. My co-host that's not here is saying that Schmuel acting like KB's bitter now. So I guess the implication would be the KB's always been bitter. But I think you meant better. Go for it, Pineapple.
Sorry, I'm just looking. So Leo Gunn, I used to live about an hour away from Clay. Obviously not literally his address, but Wembley. I was about an hour away. Mama B, you are so close. You are so close. It's ridiculous. The places she's mentioning are like little towns. I'm like, oh, fuck me. You must be.
Mama B's going to be knocking on your door later.
Well, I don't live there anymore, but it's quite funny how close Mama B is.
That is funny. Tunbridge.
Yeah, it's like
now she's just coming up with
spooky
names of suburbs, right?
Tunbridge Wells. There you go. So yeah, just.
Well, it's like I say, I'm from Chicago, but like I'm, 50 miles, northwest, 45 miles northwest. It's just easier to say Chicago.
Yeah, I do love the guys though, like Stuttering John, who are from Long Island, who act like they're from New York City, and we used to just fucking laugh at them because it was like the reason why they're on Long Island is because their parents were afraid of minorities, and that's why they moved out there. And now they're they're in their 50s and 60s, and they're tough guys. Yeah, I mean that's the deal. It's like moving to Long Island, you get away from the riffraff that is the boroughs. And
I'm so sorry.
So we used to just, and their whole thing is they're going into the city. So we're going to go to the city, and people live on Long Island, haven't been to Manhattan in 20 years. So fuck them. And they're the bridge and tunnel crowd they call them, and they're you gotta go if you ever go. The Long Island Railroad goes into Madison Square Garden, and these guys come from out there to go to games and concerts and stuff like that. What up? Forget it, man. They're definitely not from New
You,
York. New York. They're like, if the movie The Warriors had a gang from Long Island, they wouldn't have lasted past the first 5 minutes. So
you've got the Australian Melton in the chat, by the way.
I do.
The knockoff version.
I do. Oh, Leo Gunn. I hear The Sopranos is a big hit in the UK.
Like 20 years ago, I guess. Yeah, it was fairly
Right.
big.
Well, Leo, not to be a one-upper, but The Crown was a huge hit here in the United States. Right? And you're right, Aussie guy. There are not enough people doing the geography shows. Right? Every time I mention Perth, people have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about. So
Yeah.
it's like
if it's not Sydney, who cares, right?
but it's like
Right.
isn't it like 80% of Australians live in or around Sydney and Melbourne and God, there's another town I can't think of. The Gold
Queensland.
Coast or something.
Mm.
We have like Sydney has.
Is this actually a geography show now? Like, he was joking about it, but I guess it now is a geography show.
Yeah, we're doing geography. I know my geography. I wanna show that. I'm trying to warm up, get the Aussie guy to warm up to me because I want to go on his show again.
Shut up.
Right. What you've got to learn about British people and Australian people is the nicer you are to them, the more they won't like you. So you've got to be mean to them and they might like you back. That might work. I'm not going to guarantee it, but that's your best chance. The nicer you are, the less likely it will be that he will like you.
There's a New York thing, which is that the nicer you are, the less we trust you.
Not
I
far
get
off.
that. I get that
similar?
with the people that when I pick up deliveries in New York, like I can see that. I can absolutely see that.
My wife the other night, I picked her up last night and she's telling me that the night before she was walking home, it was 10 o'clock. There was a girl on the steps. She looked distraught. She was whatever. My wife was like, do you need help? Can I do anything to, are you okay? And the girl was like just crying. And my wife said, I sat next to her and talked. And my response was, why do you get involved in these things? And and her punishment to me, this is great. Her punishment to me was to not tell me the rest of the story. So I have no idea what happened. So the missus did me a favor. All right. I want to go back to how far, Clay. So you're in you're in what we'd call northern England. Is that sort of the way you would define it? Right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
is
pretty much.
Clay in that area as well?
No, he's down south. So London is down south. So I used to live very close to London, and Clay lives in London. So it's still like an hour's drive or whatever, but it's pretty close in like terms of geography, like
Cool.
100 miles maybe.
Well, hopefully Mrs. Buckman will not see this podcast. Not that she ever watches anything I do, but Clay
Stupid bitch.
Her birthday is April the 4th, I think, and I
think
commissioned Clay to make a clay statue of my wife. And
my wife.
It's made and it's on its way, and yeah, and he was like, "Oh, I'll make you a video of it." I got like, I don't want to see it. I want to see it when we get here.
Nothing.
And then we'll go. So, I like Clay, and I get, I don't know. I like Clay. I don't know what else to say, but I like his work. We'll see how much I like it when the package arrives. But so far,
Oh,
so good.
he's super talented. To be
yeah.
fair. He really is. Mama B trying to guess where I am. Near Manchester. Near Manchester.
Yeah, that's what he
There you
tells
go.
all the
Narrow,
girls.
narrow it down. Narrow it down as far as I can.
Mint taking a Cookie way above this. Cookie's like, what the fuck am I doing here? No, Clay is a right hooligan. He is. When he's not making dolls, that is.
I don't know. I think he's a lover, not a fighter. I'll be honest.
Right.
He's
That would
yeah.
be my guess with Clay.
I've had some talks with him, and seems like a nice guy. He just said, he was like, he had said to me that he really wanted to do. He had kind of stopped doing his clay work, and he really wanted to do that. And my wife is somebody I can never figure out a gift for. So I was like, oh, let's give this a shot. And happy that I did. So you should all be buying clay dabbler stuff.
I do
Would you
that
tell
with,
me off stream how much you paid for it, Schmuel?
Not on
I won't tell
stream.
anyone. Off stream, I said, sorry.
Yeah, off stream, I'll tell you.
Yeah, nice one. Oh, cool.
I think most of his stuff runs about $250 American. And it's like $25 to ship. And
yeah.
And it's all going to depend upon detail and how tall you want it to be, and all of that stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm that way with Space Chief 75. Like I go, like if I need a gift for somebody, I say, hey bud, can you draw this up for me? And sure enough, a week later I get I get a sketch, and then I go, yeah, that's it. Or can you change this?
Yeah.
So that's
Space Chief did the picture of the pineapple and the little sausage dog for me. He's very good, very talented as well.
Yeah,
we've got lots of talented people in the Dabbleverse. See,
I bought pictures from Cardiff's Kids, who's I think
Oh
Shirley
yeah,
Temple
yeah, you said.
Blackish. Her stuff is great. I saw it at DabbleCon, and I was like, oh, this shit's amazing. And it was one big picture I wanted to buy, but I knew I'd never get it home. And I bought a print of it, and the print just doesn't do it justice, because it's a very bright. It's a picture of Wawa, and it's very bright, but on the print it's dark. So
Wawa the gas station.
Yeah, Wawa the gas station. We'll see.
I'm actually at a Wawa right now.
Are you?
Oh my god.
Where are you? What part of the country in?
Miami.
Oh, okay. They have Wawa in Florida?
Yeah, they're all over Florida.
Oh, I thought that was Jersey.
Definitely. Even Jersey. I knew that, Schmuel.
God, I don't really know. I only know the Panhandle of Florida. That's about it. And who was that the other day? Fuck, was it on when Ray was on with Jay and Zach, and somebody thought the Panhandle was Miami? They were convinced that the Panhandle part of Florida was Miami and Key West.
I thought that was.
But that could have been something else.
I remember that. I remember. Yeah, there was a show where someone was talking about the Panhandle. They thought it was. I want to say maybe it was Tukey and Cardiff talking about it.
Oh yeah, maybe it was them. It was what do you call it? It was fucking. I was just laughing, and they don't get it. But it's like the Panhandle's like in a different time zone.
Yeah,
and it's like you pass the Swanee River is where it changes.
Correct.
And it's like fucking going into a completely different world. Everybody's different. It's like 100%. Matt Gaetz got elected with like 98% of the population or whatever, of the voters. So, and they love him. And he's fucking crazy. Now he's gone, but yes, Menthol. The Panhandle is Pensacola, but it's also Panama City, Apalachicola. There's a lot in between. Tallahassee is Center State, isn't it? So anyway, we shouldn't be getting into Florida, but I lived down there. I loved living down there, and it was like it's like living in southern Georgia.
Surprised you haven't retired there, Schmuel.
It was a lot of fun.
Isn't that what old people like you do? Move to
no,
Florida
old people like me retire to Miami.
Miami.
Or
Miami is little Cuba. Like you need to absolutely speak Spanish if you're down here. Like they first address you in Spanish if you don't respond in Spanish, then they speak to you in broken English.
Mm,
This is how I
nice.
this is how I am in Queens. It's essentially the same thing. Um,
Mm,
and in the area of Queens where I am, you either speak Spanish or Bengali.
Oh wow.
And I I've had this business here forever, and when I first started, it was very common to see other white people. Now, if I see somebody Caucasian walking, I'm like, what are they doing here? Um, but there's a Zagat rated restaurant right near me. Um, and the only time I ever see white people is when they're going in and out of that restaurant. So,
mm.
uh,
I see
there,
white people.
there we go. Yes, I see white people. Um, but they are,
Yeah.
and I'm known as the white boy. That is what everybody sees me.
Boy, that's a bit
White
generous.
white boy. Yeah, I know. Well, it's not. You know, the
Mm,
people. One thing about Spanish and Bengali people, they're very nice. They're
mm.
not like these British that want to insult you all the time. Schmuel,
You
are
just
you in
don't. You just don't understand British people.
Schmuel? Are you in Jackson Heights? No, I am not. But I did live in Jackson Heights before I moved to New Jersey, and
Mama's fun at this game.
yeah,
I
she
think they're
is.
gonna message me. They're gonna message me my full name, my national
Right.
insurance number,
I know.
and be like, I'll be like, fuck.
We're all gonna find out it's Vince later, and has all the
Mm,
information for us on us.
mhm.
So, yeah,
Well, you
including your
deserve it. You
address.
deserve it from. You deserve it from getting it from my accent. That's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
happy when Schmuel sees white people in the hood, they're there to buy drugs. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
not in this hood. This it's interesting. So COVID came, right, and a bunch of places went out of business, and very quickly they all of a sudden became what we describe in New York as massage parlors, which you guys would call brothels every place else. And they've shut them down over the last couple of years. And I was laughing because the most notorious one has now reopened as a kickboxing gym. So
Oh,
I'm wondering if they have massages in the back after your workout.
it's a little disappointing.
So I'm a tiny bit scared by Mama B because not only did she used to live in Sevenoaks, Kent, but she also apparently used to live in Jackson Heights.
Heights.
So I get the feeling something. Watch out,
Wow.
Cupcake. Watch out if she happen to live where you live as well, Cupcake.
Yeah,
This might
right. No,
be
I'm good. Chicago.
this might be a
That's
fishing.
Chicago. That's
This
it. Just
might
Chicago.
this might be a fishing exercise.
Right.
Oh, what was your mother's maiden name? My mother's maiden name was that as well.
what, what's your date of birth? I get calls at work. I get calls all the time for like
Really?
credit card processing,
Mhm.
and they always start with, "I'm from Merchant Services," and then they start
Mhm.
asking you questions. And some of the people who work
You're
for me can
muted,
be
Cupcake.
pretty stupid and
Mm.
start answering them. But all right, here we go with meaning North Bergen is a region, not specifically Bergen, the township. Mama B, when I meet you, if I meet you, I'll be happy to tell you everything.
Mm.
But we're not doing it on a stream. And some asshole is Photoshop or copying my background, and it's going to figure out where I am from that. So we'll know. I did a parking stream. So I was
Mm.
doing these like, oh, parking in Queens, parking in Queens. And somebody sent me a direct message letting me know exactly where I was when I was parking.
Jeez. Wow,
Jesus.
crazy.
Yeah,
It's mad how good you can get at it. Yeah.
oh, it is. And then I also had another guy. Oh, when I got in a fight with Gino, somebody put up, or yeah, it was Gino, I guess. I got in a fight with Gino. I know that's a shock.
Oh no.
Somebody put up a picture of a map of where they thought I lived. And
Mm,
yeah, attempting to
nice.
dox.
So
They got it
Dave,
wrong.
just to slightly address Dave's comment. London to New York, isn't that crazy? No. Yeah, but if he narrows it down to the specific town that you live in, or the exact like block that you live in New York.
Right.
That's a bit more crazy, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not saying someone from England can't live in America. I'm saying that it's very unlikely that they lived in two areas that are very close to both where we lived at some point.
Right.
But yeah.
Exactly. And where's Waukegan, Cupcake?
Waukegan, that's that's actually like 20 miles from me. But yeah, it's north.
Oh no!
Jesus
Oh
Christ.
no! We're all getting
No,
doxxed. We're all
that's
getting doxxed.
that's
I'm
northern
helping
Illinois.
Mama B.
That's northern Illinois.
She's all
That's
set.
actually about 15 minutes from Wisconsin border.
Yeah, I went to a wedding in Milwaukee, and it's my niece who lives there.
Oh, I
And
remember when you were telling me that. Yeah, yeah.
and it's been so long, and I found the wedding card inside a notebook, along with $1,100, which was nice. But found the wedding card, and I'm like, oh fuck, I never mailed this thing. So
No,
I had my assistant address it today. She's got nice handwriting, and it was Waukegan, Illinois. So
Waukegan in the dump.
when I first saw Opie's walking stream, I knew exactly where he lives. People have terrible OPSEC in general.
Yeah,
The thing is, Opie knows everybody knows where Opie lives, and Jimmy used to live in the same building, but it's doorman, and he's on the 50th floor. Good luck getting to him.
Just wait till he comes downstairs. It's fine.
right.
Just wait till he goes to get parts. You
Yeah.
don't have to. You don't have to go up to him. He'll come down to you. It's fine.
Good old Kipper. He'd love to see you though. He'd be shocked he has a fan.
I'll be honest, yeah. I know the numbers people in the Doubleverse get are like nothing really, like my show, your show, even like Joey's show. It's nothing really. But you see Opie's show, and like he clings to the Twitter numbers because his actual numbers on YouTube are terrible. They're worse than what we get. And you're like, how can Opie from Opie and Anthony not at least have like 40, 50 people watching him? It's insane.
It's funny. There was this YouTube channel who did Opie and Anthony cuts, and they did an 8-hour super cut of something. And Kevin Smith was on the show, and they were making fun of something about Winnie the Pooh, and they were doing the Winnie the Pooh voice, and it was Winnie the Pooh and Piglet doing like a PSA talking about oh, Piglet, you don't want people to touch you where you wear your bathing suit. So they're going off on that. And Opie wasn't involved at all. And then Opie goes to Kevin Smith. He goes, hey, Kevin, aren't you doing a Harry Potter thing at your comic shop? And Kevin Smith goes, yeah. And then he goes right back into Anthony. I mean, it was so obvious in that whole clip that what Anthony says is right. Like, Opie really didn't do anything for the show. Like, he was just there. He was just there. Like, he really didn't add anything. And he would try to interject, and they would just go like, Anyway, as I was saying before.
You're right. You're right. He is the Roachy of the show. You're absolutely correct, Cupcake. Good point. Sorry, Schmuel, go on.
Roachy's humorous. I don't know his partner.
Damn it, I'm Opie. I know I'm Opie. I'm steering the ship, goddammit.
And y'all need to follow Echo Pineapple if you're not, because they do some great shows.
So I was listening
to some bad shows.
I was listening to Garrett and Steve today, walking, and they say that Opie has 145,000 subscribers, and his YouTube streams will get like 20 people.
Right.
Yes, insane.
And
insane.
Steve said that he just assumed that Opie had all of those people subscribers on YouTube because of the Opie and Anthony show, and that's what people wanted. Well, apparently Garrett said that E-Rock has implied that Opie purchased a significant portion of those subscribers at some point.
Schmuel, I can help you with that, mate. So I reposted something that Joey shared, moaning about a new YouTube channel that's like showing his clips, which is great. Go watch it. It's like at Catalano Clips or some shit, whatever. Anyway, I got followed immediately by this guy who's called like Organic YouTube Growth, and I was like, oh, here you go, like another spam fucking follow or whatever.
Right.
And I looked on a profile, and it had is followed by one person that you follow, and it was fucking Opie. So I tweeted it out, and I went, oh Opie, I said Opie, what are the rates like? Are they good prices? Like should I message this guy? So yeah, it's funny you say that because that literally happened I think today. Shut up, Stallion 19.
That's funny. I follow some of those guys. I watch some of the when I was thinking about doing the channel, I was watching some of the, how to start a YouTube channel, and it is so there are some legitimate guys on there, and then there are some that it's like such a scam. They give you a little bit of information, and then we have a class, and then and there was like one was like a YouTube Master Academy or something, and you could spend $3,000 for the weekend, and
Ooh,
you'd meet all of
bargain.
these great YouTube streamers who all happen to be students of this guy.
Oh,
Some of it's legit. There's an Asian woman, a lawyer that I follow. Some of her stuff sucks, but she's really she explains defamation and fair use, etc. But she's such a lawyer, and it's like, and I was like, all of a sudden, I'm like, wow, well, she's back. Why am I seeing her so much? She's like on every show, and because she's launching something called Creators Corner or something like that, and
wow, I wonder where she got that name from.
it's going to be a paid. It's probably not creators. It's creators something, but it's going to be paid memberships. You're going to pay, and she generally charges $650 an hour to represent people.
Bargain.
But she's going to do this as a favor because she feels like there's an underserved community. But some of her advice is good. Have you heard of SS Sniper?
No.
It's a super sexy sniper, and apparently she got famous. A pretty very attractive woman, and I think
That's why.
From Britain, yeah. So she has like 5 million followers on YouTube, and YouTube loves
So
her.
that's weird. A good-looking lady has lots of followers on YouTube.
know,
That is
right?
strange.
Shocking.
I know. And so, but the way that she made her bones was criticizing other shows. I know this sounds, and other people's
What?
streams.
I should try that.
Yeah, you should try
Sounds
doing
like
that.
good
Echo.
idea.
That sounds like your bailiwick right there.
I have not heard of that before. So, but in any event, what happens is she gets to the point where somebody else did, another guy, JJ Stream, James, I don't know, JJ James or some bullshit. And so this guy does a stream, and he's like, yes, SS Sniper Wolf. And the SS, by the way, stands for
Now
super
Stallion
sexy.
said it. I understand. Yeah. I know
Right.
it is. Yeah.
Super sexy Sniper Wolf. So this guy does a stream about her and she's using everyone else's content. She's criticizing that content, and she's not crediting anyone with any, so, and of course she's hot. So that makes a lot of, so this guy does this stream, and this chick goes full psycho, shows up at his house. He's getting swatted.
Oh shit! No, I did kind of hear about it. Yeah. I didn't click on it, but I saw it like popping up on stories on X and what have you.
Yeah. So the big part of it was that they're going to YouTube with the proof, right? And YouTube is like, oh, we're addressing these concerns. It's important to us that our people feel safe. And at the same time, they're having her appear at YouTube conferences giving speeches.
Yeah.
And it wound up being a lawsuit. And this chick lawyer that I'm talking about wound up representing the other guy, Jay James or something. But it was wild. I'm listening to the story, and I'm like, we laugh about Stuttering John, but we have such a limited reach. You got 5 million followers. You could really get people to do some damage.
Right.
Oh, for sure. But also, it just gets lost in the silence, right? As well, like you can't really kind of have much of an impact if you're maybe having like 20,000 people in a live stream. You're not really gonna even see any of the spam or any of the doxing or any of the, the kind of beauty slash damage of the Dabbleverse is you can read the chat, you can see people coming in saying, "Is this a show?" No, this is not a show. This is Schmuel Buckman with American Cupcake and Echo chatting absolute shit.
We don't do a show. Shows are for pussies.
That's right.
No, and so there's that, and then and it's funny because that you say that because in one of these streams there was a lot of doxing going on, right? Not in the sniper, in another, and the guy had, I don't know, thousands of people on the stream, and I'm sure that he didn't see the chat, and they're doxing away, and then somebody pulls those chats, and it would be like if Cupcake did a show and he had 10,000 people, and it was, Cupcake says Mama B lives at 125 Jersey Avenue, North Bergen, New Jersey, and putting in phone numbers, and his kids go to this school. And I was like, how can the guy be expected to track that? And then of course, I guess if you did complain about it, YouTube's response depends upon how much money you're making YouTube. So, and I think Carl talked about something similar where, these two guys are fighting and the one guy gets a 30-day suspension and the other guy gets a 24-hour suspension. And they both did the same thing. So
sounds about right.
So Echo, what do you got coming up this week?
Same old shit as always, mate. Got Between Two Hacks on Saturday. Can't even remember what fucking time it is with you stupid Americans. I got to wait till the end of the month till our clock gets moved as well, so until it all goes back to normal.
Right. So once again, America's ahead of Britain, as is always the case. But go ahead.
No, it's still 4 hours. Still 4 hours behind, right? From us with your Eastern time. So yeah, I don't know. It's on my channel. If you watch me, you watch me anyway. So don't worry.
You'll be 5, right?
Yeah, that's what it normally is. That's in my head. In my head, it's like, right, 5 hours difference. 5 hours difference.
Yeah.
And then Luigi goes, well, no, technically I'm 6 hours, and I'm like, fuck off. Use Eastern, and then I can focus in one time zone. Stop trying to change it. And I got Aussie guy going, well, technically, it's like, fuck off.
Dave and I have a terrible time getting together, and it's only 3-hour difference.
God, that is terrible.
Well, for me, it's rough because I'm an old man. I got to go to bed at some point, and then
yeah, you're pretty old. Late
in the day, I get tired, and then I don't make any sense. So, I, and Dave could be up at midnight his time, 3 a.m. here, and he's yelling at me. Fuck, man!
Yeah, when I went to that dinosaur park, the Cabazon Dinosaur Park, I had figured my route, and then I was like, "Oh my god, it's in my route." I was in where was I? I was in Louisiana or Texas. I was in Central Time Zone, so I had had put 10 o'clock, but it was 10 o'clock Central. And then when I got to California, and I looked, and it had said 7 o'clock. I'm like, no. So I hate the time zone change. That it's awful, especially with this job. Like, sometimes like I'll get a pickup, and the delivery time will be Central, but I'll have to deliver it to like Mountain Time, and then I'll have to calculate it out, and I'll gain 2 hours or lose 2 hours like that. My boys were little.
You think your sat nav would do that, right? Seeing how clever they are,
Sometimes the brokers are not that smart.
Right. Yeah. Fair play. Fair enough.
Yeah.
With the daylight savings time, when my kids were little, my 2 boys, I would say, all right, today's the day, guys. We get to be Kronos, master of all time. Master of all time. Then they loved the changing of the clocks. Like, they would go to each clock in the house, and so I mean, that was just a fun little dad thing to do.
Yeah, it sucks now that clocks change automatically. But I came to work today, and the clock wasn't. I haven't been here since last week, so the clock hadn't changed, and it took me a long time to get here today. So I get here and I'm sitting at the thing and I'm going, oh wait, it wasn't that bad. Like I did really well, and then I realized the clock was back an hour, so it had taken me 2 hours and not the hour that I thought it did. Exciting tidbit
No,
story.
have you been following any of the Chad shit? I just running an eye over chat, and all of the MLC guys are talking about Chad fucking with the boxing owner, the
Chad
steel
fucks with
toes.
everybody. He's been fucking with Scott. Is that the guy's? As I doc
Apparently
Scott.
so. Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
that's
Good
Aaron's
work.
boxing gym?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah,
that guy
I've
put
been reading bits and pieces, but yeah.
that guy put up a video saying, fuck you to everybody, and come after me. That was Scott's response.
Fair enough.
You
Fair
know,
enough then, I guess.
he's like, the internet doesn't bother me, and so I get bad reviews. Um, I don't care. The
Just wait till
internet
he
doesn't
gets like
mean
the health inspector closing him down for something, and then him being like, fuck. I guess the internet is pretty fucking dangerous with
no.
some
Or
shit.
somebody pulls off a stunt like they were doing with Ray when Ray used to get his mail at the Comedy Cellar, and they were sending bags of concrete, barbells, weights. They'd send him like 25-pound kettlebells. And Comedy Cellar was like, stop. Ray's not allowed to get mail there anymore.
Duh. Jesus Christ. Can you stop sending me concrete? Yes.
Yeah. Well,
good
they
shout.
did that to Mersh. They delivered 2 pallets of concrete to his
Oh
house.
yeah.
Two pallets of concrete. But see, is the cost worth the? I mean,
Probably.
that's because a bag of concrete, that's what, 15, $20, and there's five.
A
There's
lot.
maybe 50.
American
There's maybe
cupcake
50
math.
bags. It's like, dude, that's hundreds of
Cupcakes
dollars.
Concrete Corner.
Right.
Yeah, look, I'm blown away when I see people sending, $50 or $100 on a super tip or super chat. I'm blown away by that. But yeah, I wouldn't do it. But they love fucking with Mersh, and so. But the big deal is that they did it at the same time. It was funny because it didn't get the play that they wanted it to get because it was at the same time he was getting his car repoed. So the story was all about the car being repoed, and I guess the concrete they delivered it. I had heard it was delivered right in front of his front porch, like at the steps of the house, and somebody said it was his
Didn't it rain?
driveway.
Didn't it
And
rain
then it was
on it or
gonna
something?
and then it was,
Yes, and he didn't bring it in, and the help turned to stone.
And what do you do, right? And then you're the store owner. That would be the big one, man. Like you're the store owner, and I'd go nuts, like on that guy. How the fuck could you deliver all that stuff? All right, mint diggity. That dude was salt of the earth, OG boxing coach. He can talk. He really should have a podcast. I guess we're talking about Scott. I think we all like Scott, but you got to know when you get in bed with Aaron, shit's not going to go well for you, right? It seems weird because that kind of guy would seem to be the kind of guy who would get upset about the throuple and the drugs and all that other stuff, But in boxing, you deal with a lot of losers, so maybe that's
Why would he know all of that stuff though? Like, because I doubt he's going on to all of these. Like, he's not going on Reddit and checking out like steel toe stuff, is he? So all he will know is what he gets contacted with, and to be told to take it with a pinch of salt because some people are obviously saying some crazy shit as well, and also what steel toe says to him. So I'm sure Steel Toe's not saying to him, "Oh yeah, no, I did do this, and yeah, I did do that, and yeah, this is what happened." I'm sure he's turning it into a win for every little bit of any bit of the conversation that he asks him about. So
I just find it's a small town, and having lived in some small towns, it's like you get arrested for that. I mean, come on, how do you not know unless you live in a hole that happened? So that I don't know.
Maybe.
You know, but whatever. But the thing is, one of my wife's friends is getting married, just got engaged, and
Sorry to hear that.
Congrats.
and it's to a boxing coach and a boxing trainer, and the guy, his real job is a contractor, but his boxing thing, when you talk to him about it, he really works with kids and young adults that are in trouble. Like, and he says that that's a lot of boxing. That it's like kids who would otherwise be gang members, or they have anger management problems, things like that. So, maybe Scott is just used to dealing with people with, felony convictions or whatever, and this isn't that big of a deal.
I just think Aaron is insufferable. Like I can't stand more than 5 minutes of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I must admit I had like zero interest in kind of getting involved with it, but BYB cover it, Aussie guy covers it, so I kind of had to eventually, just kind of embrace it. But yeah, I don't know.
It's fascinating though, right?
He's more interesting than Stuttering John. Like, to be fair, like over the last 6 months, let's say, like I find his stuff more interesting than Stuttering John stuff, at least.
Well, yeah, I mean, Stuttering John, no, he's just the same.
Boring.
Yeah.
Well, Stuttering John is, what do you call it? I mean, the thing about Stuttering John is the guy had everything and pissed it away, right? And
Absolutely.
That's and believes that he's right. So that's the fun with Stuttering John. And with Aaron,
I mean, he had the same job as Ed McMahon.
Right.
Like
Aaron hasn't had it, but yet acts like he has. And that's the thing. Like, you look at that guy and you believe that he believes what he's telling you. Like, he really does think he's an old school radio guy. And yet the stories that I've heard over and over again is that he was a salesman, and that's how he got his airtime.
The funny thing is with that though, if he never had to move into the internet, like when he did Twitch and then he moved over to YouTube and whatever, if he'd never done it, he probably would still. Well, I know he still makes out like he was a proper radio guy, but he would have probably died in the knowledge being like, I was a proper radio guy. I was one of the biggest radio people out there, despite somehow not realizing what a limited area he lived in and
in a 3-digit radio market.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not going to fault the guy for being in a 3-digit radio. It's
no,
number
yeah,
180,
fair play,
like
but
187, I think, in markets.
Be aware. Be aware of your limitations, right? Yeah, right. Like when we speak to like 10 people on YouTube, we're not confusing ourselves with people who get like thousands and thousands of it. We're aware of it. We know, we're pretty much talking to ourselves.
Right. Yeah, and everybody does a podcast. That's the and I know a guy. First, I want to say about Aaron. Look, man, I couldn't get hired in a 4-digit radio market, right? And probably none of us could. But the thing with Aaron is he had a sweet deal, right? You're in Minnesota, you're making enough money to, you live in a decent life, you've got a house, you've just got everything is just comfortable, and you fucking blow it up. And he blew it up. So it's like, when you say, if he didn't have to go over to the internet, my thing is like, he forced his way. He did it to himself. It wasn't like the radio.
Oh, he did have to
go.
They
said, yeah,
he did have to go, but yeah,
right.
He didn't have any choice. He didn't have any choice apart from get a real job, I guess, and give up on his dream. But
and that's when he felt too big for his britches back then. Now he's as you say, Cupcake. He is insufferable. So what do we think? We heard he said today that he's got a plea deal. It's going to be $50 fine, and he's pleading to a minor misdemeanor. Do we believe it, or?
See, with stuff like that, just wait until it's done. Why wouldn't you just wait until it's done? You know, especially
Right.
why don't you just be smug like you always will for a few weeks, and then go, oh, by the way, this is what happened. This is the jail term that I got, $50 fine and whatever it was, rather than preempt it and like jinx it and fuck yourself up. Why don't you just wait until it's done for once in your life,
I couldn't
Aaron? Just
imagine
once in your life.
why would you piss off a prosecutor? Like that's the thing that makes no sense to me.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
yeah, 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 yeah.
So you piss off the prosecutor, and then I'm wondering too, like there were BYB Derek today quad chatted into Pretty Antisocial that he's like, oh, he's getting the confidential informant deal, right? Because he ratted on all
Right,
those
for snitching.
people, and his lawyer sent in the letter saying he was a snitch, and so he's getting the snitches deal. But I'm just like, they had to have known that obviously before. And then the second, but the other thing too is, could you, if you're the county attorney, right? You don't have tons of money to spend. Can you imagine how many thousands of dollars they've spent on this revenge porn case to just
Oh,
walk away from
Yeah.
it? I find that hard to believe.
Mm.
You know?
Yeah, it did seem like they were maybe trying to make an example out of it, because I know it sounds bad, but it wasn't the worst thing that someone's done, you know, in terms of, especially as you two are old fucks, right? So that's probably something you would probably think, that's just a little bit of ribbon, a little bit of fun and tiggle and all that stuff. But I genuinely think the fact that he did it on stream, and
that's the
like
point.
with people watching live, they're like, we've got to make an example out of you. Otherwise, people are going to be like,
Right.
well, when are you ever going to prosecute someone if they literally confirm they're doing it live and on a recorded fucking thing right in front
Right.
of you? So
Your boy's
yeah.
not doing too bad, is he?
Yeah.
Like, you dumb
Idiot.
fuck.
Such
You
an idiot.
dumb fuck.
Yeah. And then what did they do? They went into the like verifying the tattoo being like in a certain place on her.
Idiots.
So it's like
absolute idiots.
it's like I
Because
can't.
the problem is with this stuff, it could have been so easy to be like, and scene. Yes, we were obviously joking. We didn't send anything. I don't even have my phone in my hand. But no, they keep digging and digging and making it so they go, just to prove it, we literally did do all of this stuff as well. And you're like, all right. Never mind.
Right.
Yeah, I have a feeling if you
Never
want
mind.
to keep something quiet, Gino's the last person you send it to.
Yeah. Well, in that one circumstance, though, he wasn't the one who was doing the stupid thing. It was all on fucking steel toe, to be fair. Because
Right.
Gino wasn't even being that bad for him. You know, he was kind of like, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Gina
I
was
guess.
like, okay.
Yeah, but Gino did talk about he was the tattoo, right? Like, so
Sure. Yeah,
he
yeah. Well, he's got to
ID'd
say
it.
something.
And yeah, but just
Yeah.
but Aaron is not. My personal opinion is I never thought it was going to go to trial. I always figured Aaron would take a deal.
Yes.
But I have a feeling that a bunch of what's going on here is Aaron is just propping himself up, and the deal's not going to be as good as he makes it sound, and then he's going to blame somebody else for doing it. This is what we had, but then, Melton or Ricado or somebody else, fucking,
Yeah, just like a broad.
got something in with the prosecutor. But in any event, yeah, he is insufferable, and but I have to admire, he lies with such ease. Like, how do you do?
Do you
like,
think?
Go
Do you
ahead.
think he thinks it's a lie, though, Schmuel? That's the
No,
one
I
thing
think-
that I've
I
kind
think
of
he
noticed with him. Yeah,
think he
he's
believes it.
delusional. Yeah, bizarre. He's so delusional.
That's the stuttering John thing. But the other day, I think it was a Stallion clip with him talking about Melton's dog and him dressing up the dog, and he goes to the park for play dates with the dog, and he dresses up his dog and all this. And then the next sentence is, "We dressed up Gordy for his birthday," and but that's okay. And you're just like what the fuck is
You know
going
what's
on?
insane with that? You know what's absolutely insane with that? As much fun as it is to take the piss out of people, I genuinely wouldn't care if, like, Melton was like, no, like I genuinely do that. This is my dog. Here's some more pictures. Showed us. I'd be like, all right. I'd be like, okay, like as long as your dog doesn't mind it,
Yeah.
like, and it goes for play dates. Okay, so it goes socializes with other dogs. I'd be like,
Right.
that's not quite the win. Even if it is true, not quite the win that he would have hoped for. Because I'd be like, that's fine. Like, I don't really care. Knock yourself out.
Affy, no, I can't come to your dog's birthday party. Not
Well, that's a bit
my
rough.
not my current
Dang.
pup, but my previous pup. We had a birthday party for him on his first birthday, and it was a lot of fun. And of course, it's not about the dog; it's just an excuse to have a party. But Aaron would get all like,
That's very
hyped up.
Mexican of you.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
There was a lot of chihuahuas there, to be fair.
yeah. It was a
No,
chow actually, but
Mexicans do that like at a child's like, a 7-month-old baptism or a child's first birthday. Like they act like it's, they bring cases of beer, and then the birthday boy or girl has been asleep for 4 hours, but everyone else is just partying it up.
Why am I not surprised that Chris Mack has a rescue dog? And also, Chris, you don't actually need to know when her birthday is. Just the first day when you rescued her.
Yeah,
that can be
that's
your
her
dog's
birthday.
You dickhead. Just give your dog a cupcake once a year, you bitch. Jesus Christ.
It's funny because I was just thinking that, which is when we had my old dog. That was when we made his birthday. Was the day we got him.
The day you get him.
And,
Yeah,
but
yeah, exactly.
I did,
You have to wait like 8 to 12 weeks, right, till you get the dog anyway. So sometimes you just do it from when you got the dog rather than the 12 weeks beforehand.
Well, I got the dog when he was 6 months old, and
Okay.
the reason why I got him was because he was housebroken, and because
That's key.
he was not allowed to go to a house with children under 12 because he didn't have a history of biting, but his breed, he was a Chow Akita mix. His breed had a history of of biting kids, and I will tell you, he got home. And the first thing he did was took a shit and a piss on my living room floor. And the only way that dog would ever bite you is if you slipped and fell into his teeth. But
new environment,
Yeah.
not surprised. Yeah.
It was good. And the only reason why we knew when he was actually born was because he was, as a puppy, he was adopted from the same rescue. And the chick that adopted him abandoned him. And when they found him, he had the North Shore Animal League tag on, so they called North Shore, because otherwise in New York City, I think they put him down like after 5 days.
Jesus
So
Christ.
he was a great dog, and I brought my dog to Atlantic City with me. We got my little dog a service. Actually paid, got my little dog a service tag, and
is that because you're retarded? Is that technically why you can have a service dog?
I'm special. It's not because I'm retarded, but
right.
Mrs.
It's for a different reason. It's for a different reason.
Mrs. Buckman told the security guard I had early onset dementia. So there we go.
So it is a service dog, not an emotional support animal.
Yeah. Well, they can't ask you, so that's the deal. The only deal with the Borgata is you got to tell them before you come. If you show up, they won't do it. But you got to tell them before you come. So that's boring. So what did we miss? Did we? Chris, I got her before I got off drugs. She was only all right. We can talk about that later.
That's how you can.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. That's how you can tell like a dog person. They don't say it. They say him or her.
Yeah, I guess.
I've noticed that with people.
Like an Inglorious Bastard when they hold their hand up the wrong way, and you're like, you're not German. No German would show. Yeah,
I was injured heavily by the words in the Dabble verse, so I need a support dog for my emotions.
Right.
I went to the doctor and I said to him, these trolls keep teasing me about my skin. So they found out I had cancer and treated it. And then they went, do you want a dog? You want a dog you can pet when they're mean to you? And I went, yeah, I want a dog.
Tio Hank, did he shit in the Borgata? No, only in the parking lot. He's a good
Good dog.
dog. He's traveled
Very
with
good
me
dog.
forever, so we
When I
never really.
when I got married, before, like, when I was after I had proposed and stuff, I was like, all right.
Talking about dogs.
Well, no, this does have to do with dogs. I said,
Talking
okay,
about bitches.
there's 3 rules that I'm gonna have if we have, when we have kids. I said, if they want a tattoo, they just have to ask me, and I'm taking them. If they want a piercing, they just have to ask me, and I'm taking them. If they want an animal, they just have to ask me, and we're getting it. I go, those are the 3 things that you cannot override me on. And we had so many pets. We had at one time.
I was gonna say that's such a stupid rule because your kids are gonna go. Can I have a goldfish? You go, yeah. Okay, I'm bored. Can I have a hamster? Yeah. All right, I'm bored.
No, but no, they took
Can I
care
have
of
a
them all.
rabbit?
They know.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm bored.
there was rules.
Can I
There
have a
was
cat?
rules with it.
Bored. Dog bored.
Yeah, we never
Horse
had cats.
bored.
And how
We
long
had
did this marriage last?
18 years.
Oh, okay,
Oh wow.
that's respectable.
Thanks to the pets, I think. Let's be honest.
I am.
Yes, no, and yeah, we had a total of let's see, there was Jake, Roxy, Phoebe, Baby.
Okay, we get
the
it. We get
wives.
it. We get
No,
it.
we had like 6 dogs, throughout the. I took one of them with me when I got divorced. We had 3 cockatiels. We had a bunch of goldfish. We had a turtle. We had a tortoise. We
All
had.
right, we got it. We have to move this along, Cupcake. This is not a,
Sorry,
this is not an Uncle Jack stream. And,
Wait. Cupcake. How old were they all when you left?
the animals or my kids.
Yeah, I'm fucking with you. Let's
Oh, okay.
carry on. Sorry.
Ass.
Tio Hank, true. Tio Hank was hilarious in Atlantic City.
Yeah, Tio Hank. I hung out with Tio Hank for a little bit in Vegas at Hackamania.
He lost $500 trying to buy Ray a $200 hooker. So,
Oh yeah, no, I saw that video.
I saw that too.
Video. Very good.
I can't figure out how that one worked, but it was pretty funny.
Either way, she ended up in the back of Ray's car in the end in the trunk, so it's all good. All worked out. Happy ending.
Where he parked. He's so fucking crazy. He parked. He called me and he's like, he wanted me to come pick him up. He was going to go park at another hotel because he was afraid they were going to toss his car. These guys are going to come after my car. They're going to vandalize my car. And he wasn't even staying at the Borgata the first night. I'm like, Ray, nobody's walking through Harrah's parking lot looking for a car. And he was convinced they were going to. So it's actually a true story. And
is his car even worth damaging? Like, would it not make it worth more? Or has he got an alright car?
I think he's got like a 2016 Honda or something. And why do I know what kind of car Ray has? Because whenever Ray is in Queens and he has a car problem or a tire problem, I get a phone call.
Does he ring you up and go, Dad, I mean Schmuel, can you help me out with something?
Dad, I got a squeaky in my car, and they told me to buy a belt, and I bought a belt. Like,
this side up, this side down. Not good. Not go good on road. What happened?
Do you know somebody who can put it on for me? And I honestly
Guy
gave
with
him,
wrench. Do you know guy with wrench, Dad?
I gave him my mechanic, and he actually went there and got it done. And I told Ray to make sure he tipped the guy, and he checked the amount of the tip with me to make sure that it was adequate. So, it was, yeah. And I've gotten these other phone calls like about the tire place or whatever. And there's there's a Dominican guy around here who did. The thing in New York is when you need a tire fixed, you don't go to like Joe's or Pep Boys or whatever the fuck the name of it is. There's all these like Dominican and Ecuadorian guys that do tires, and those are the places you go to. So I tell Ray to go there. I think I used to drink with that guy, but I think he's dead. And, well, the place is still there.
It's not him.
No, but he's dead.
Yeah,
Isn't he
it's
dead?
definitely not him.
Oh my god.
I hung out with Ray once in Cleveland. I was driving through and I was like, hey, Ray, what are you doing? I'll be in Cleveland. So I got a hotel and he picked me up and we went to a bar. And it was, he was not. I mean, he was normal. He was just a normal dude. You know, it wasn't the Ray from Streams.
No,
You know,
he is normal, but it's like I just this is my opinion. I don't know if it's true or not. I think he's afraid. Like he's afraid he's going to do something wrong. Like when he's got to make a decision. So it's like, oh,
I'll
let me
agree
go
with
to
that.
Schmuel. I'll get a mechanic, and then if it breaks down on I-80, I can blame Schmuel. You know.
Does he make a decent wedge from his streaming, Schmuel? Because it seems like he really doesn't like doing that part. Is it like a necessity for him, in terms of helping
I
him
don't
get
know. I
by,
mean,
paying for his basement?
I think that what do you call it? I mean, I think that it's
I
like
feel we'd be
he
a lot
needs
happier if he
money.
didn't stream. Yeah.
He doesn't make a lot of money, so
Mm,
even if he makes a couple $300 extra a week, I think it's helpful. And I think
okay.
he likes streaming, but again, he's afraid. So
Mm,
he worries too much about saying the wrong thing and the wrong person's going to come after him and
Tacky. Mm.
I said to him the other day that he's got to stop thinking like an opener and start thinking like a headliner. Because he keeps waiting
You
for
should
these guys
be
to
more
That's
realistic,
pretty good
Schmuel.
advice. That's
Be
pretty
more
good.
realistic. Stop thinking like an open micer and start thinking like a potential modeler.
start thinking
And
you're
he'd
a
be like,
headline.
yeah.
No, because it's one of it's I see it a lot. It's like it feels like he keeps waiting for these other guys like Big J and those guys to do things for him.
Mm,
And if they haven't in 15 years, the odds are they're not going to do it now, right?
mm.
So stop waiting for that and start doing something else. But
Also, they're more likely to do something for you if you're doing stuff for yourself. Like if you're out there doing everything you can, I'm sure they'd be more likely to throw you a bone. But I don't
no,
know.
Ray's definitely out there. I mean, he performs
Mm,
every night and he's out
hmm
there. But I think he probably does too many shows for free.
Yeah.
And
Know
that
your value, as KB would say, right, guys?
Know
Know
your
your value.
value.
Why should I pay you if no one else is going to pay you? So yeah,
right,
good point.
and also too, if you're gonna have him open for you, um, unless you get a Nick Swardson, um, you they're not gonna, they're gonna want somebody who's successful, or reasonably successful. But
Talking about reasonably successful, I best go to sleep. Otherwise, I will get fired for being shit at my job tomorrow. So
well,
take care,
you
lads.
you do that. I'm gonna try to wrap it up pretty quickly. I want to shit on
hmm
2 or 3 other people, but I will say this:
hmm
OG Mumbly Nick, a failure once again. When is the show
hmm
going to be called 100% Stainless Schmuel? That's gold right
Doesn't
there.
work. Doesn't work, Nick. I've told you so many times that doesn't work. Mule
And
talk, which was my invention, is
exactly, that's what I was
perfect.
going to say.
Perfect, smart, concise, brilliant, clever. Whereas stainless schmule is fucking ridiculous. It's
And
something that fucking Joey C would come up with. Jesus
and
Christ.
when I told Pat Dixon the name of the show, he thought it was hilarious. And
There
so
you go. I'm
there
gonna
you
leave on
go.
that high.
And
Pat
you know how
Dixon
much
thinks
I
Schmuel
respect
sucks,
Pat.
but I'm amazing. Yes. You were
So
bad mouthing him earlier though. All right, see you later,
I
guys.
was
Take care.
never
See
Later,
you.
brother.
bad
Bye.
mouthing. Don't start
See
with
ya.
me bad mouthing Pat. You'll just make things worse.
Stop bad mouthing him. Bye.
All right. OG Mumbling Nick. This is the 3rd time I've tried selling that title. I don't know, Nick. Maybe stick to something else. Uh the first name, I don't even remember what the first name was. Oh, it was No Talent Required. And which is true, and we prove that every time we stream. But
That's pretty
it
good. That's
was
pretty good.
it was it was it was wordy. It was wordy. And I wanted to do the name, and Pineapple said Schmuel Talk, and I was like, how the fuck did I not think of that? It's so good. And so
Exactly.
that
Well,
that's where we
the only reason my channel name is so long because there's already a Cupcakes Corner, but it's Cupcake Corner, and it's a baking show. So I had to put with American Cupcake.
Well, maybe you should do if people thought it was a cupcake show, a baking show, you might get more viewers.
Well, it's definitely a baking show when I'm at the house, when I'm home. Ha ha.
Ah, uh, who is it? Bill Loney, back in the day, used to do cooking streams.
Yeah.
I think he was gone for a long time. He's back. Was it? I think he's back.
Is he?
But yeah, Johnny Payton, Schmuel, why are you smoking? That shit is terrible for your health. Johnny, I agree, but I'm kind of obsessive compulsive, and so I was significantly fatter than I am now a year ago, and I have always smoked 1 or 2 cigars a year, and um, when I went on the diet and it was like really hard, I had bought these like 50-cent cigars and I started smoking them when I wanted to eat. So I've lost 50 pounds and gained lung cancer. So, it's a trade off. Life's a
Yeah,
trade off.
it's a good
So that's it.
trade.
He's like a really smart dude. His personal passion is string theory. Wait. Oh, Bill Loney. Sorry. Bill Loney rules. I was thinking when he said really smart dude, he was talking about me, but string theory evades me. I don't, science is not my strength. All right. American Cupcake. What was your original name before Bob Levy changed it on you?
It
I
was
forget.
a mean cup of Joe, and my avatar was my picture on a coffee cup, because I planned on doing like like a podcast bitching about stuff. So it was, and I, like the name Amin, like the Arab name Amin.
Right.
So it was Amin, and then my last name was Cup of Joe. So then
And
I sent in a super chat, and Bob looks at it and goes, American Cupcake. And I was like, oh, that's
uh,
a much better name.
I thought he like came up with it like in thinking like of, oh, here's a good name for you, but
No,
it was
he just misread,
it
because it was
was
spelled, it's Amean and then Cup of Joe. And he just goes, American Cupcake. And that was it. I was like, all right, I'm in. That's gonna be my name now.
that was like what's his name? Yingwei, I guess. Bob
Yeah,
Levy
I
messed
think
up
it's
his name, and I don't know what
yeah,
his name was before that.
it's supposed to be Yngwie Malmsteen, like the guitarist.
Oh, okay. I know so little about music. It's very funny. Although I did agree with Levy the other day. I don't really listen to Bob that much, but I did agree with him the other day when he said Kiss sucks. And I was thinking like, oh man, yeah, because I remember being a kid, Kiss was really popular, and it was like somebody said to me, "Oh, they need all the makeup to cover for the bad music," and I was like, exactly.
Yeah.
Um, but there you go. But I was a weird kid anyway, so that's it.
When I was little, Kiss scared me. Like
They
my
they get.
cousins were big into Kiss. They're
Mhm.
from Tennessee, and I was frightened of, like, deathly frightened of Kiss.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what it was. I was like, I was a strange kid, so I was into like Captain Beefheart, Frank Zappa, um, and uh, weird like folk. I loved Dylan, or, Joan Baez, like all that stuff, and
Right on.
I used to be able to like rattle off Pete Seeger songs. So I like folk music. I've always loved bluegrass, and
I'm that way with Motown. That's my thing.
so we'll close with this little Motown moment. My buddy went to see uh, the fuck Michael Jackson's friend Diane. Oh, what the
Diana
hell?
Ross.
Diana Ross. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So my buddy went to see Diana Ross like a year ago, I
Oh
guess.
wow.
She's not dead, right? Um, so he went to see her, and then Saturday night he went to see Dionne Warwick,
Oh wow.
and I'm like, Dionne Warwick's got to be like 100,
Yeah.
you know? And who was
What
the
was her
guy that
show?
they?
Solid Gold.
Yeah, Solid Gold. Was it Frankie Valli that was the recent video? where
Oh, and he looks like a skeleton.
yeah,
He
yeah,
looks, oh my gosh, he looks like a reanimated corpse.
and I'm like, I was literally shocked when so the two guys part and he comes out, and I'm like, oh my god, this is like elder abuse, you know?
Right.
Holy shit! But he came out and said, no, this is what he wants to do. Um, I have no idea what the deal is. Mint Diggity, oh what a night it was, right? Oh what a night. Um,
Be like Ray
Kiss,
starts
yeah,
singing.
they had crazy marketing. They were like Kiss lunch boxes and stuff. So when I was a young kid, I was very lefty, very liberal, and very much into sort of all that stuff. And Kiss to me were just like they were capitalists. But no, they were just selling. It was like it was all, and it was absolutely right. It was just marketing, and it was like
Right.
I, I could not imagine, and every band got marketed, but I could not imagine sitting at home and putting on the headphones and listening to Kiss and thinking it was good.
Yeah.
And but but look, you got to do stuff. I mean, I'm laughing. My neighbor took his daughter to the uh, Taylor Swift show last year, and he is, totally not. He's not a Taylor Swift guy at all. And he said to me privately, he didn't say this in public. He said privately, he goes, "Swear to God, man, it's the best show I've ever been to. She knows how to put on a show." And apparently, she's like a super entertainer. So I
I
don't
won.
know that. Like I
I
just keep
won.
thinking,
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, no, you go, go.
I won tickets to an Elton John show off the radio,
Mm-hmm.
and it was October 29th because my 1997 because my wife was super duper duper pregnant with my first son, and we didn't think she wasn't going to be able to go, so I asked everybody. I got two tickets. You want to come? You want to come? And I was like, look, honey, like no one's. Let's just come on. Let's just go. If you feel like you're gonna, we'll take off. Dude, it was the best, one of the best concerts I had ever seen. Elton John put on a fantastic show. It was fantastic. Honestly, one of the best concerts I've ever seen was Elton John.
Those anal retentive guys always seem, yeah, they just because they want to make sure everything is right. Um, the same guy that I was talking about, Dionne Warwick and Diana Ross, also went to see Billy Joel at the Garden, and uh, he's also a member of the Tribe, and he was in there going, "This guy hasn't written a new song since 1993," and with 20,000 people in that place, and the average ticket price, and he was just talking about it. It was so funny, but he said he enjoyed the show. He said he enjoyed the show. So my look, I could stay on forever, and I will, but I try to keep these to an hour and a half, which is why we're at 2:07. So we'll go to
Right on.
2:15, and then if you want to come back on, that's fine. I just don't want to keep this thing going too long.
No, no, we're good. To
I'm in no
oh,
hurry. I was just going. I'm doing this because uh, I have to drive back to Jersey, and congestion pricing goes from $9 to $2.20 at 9 p.m. So I'm
I
past that
remember
now,
when you
so it's over.
told me about that. That is
Hmm.
fucking nuts.
Cost me $21 to come here today for 11 miles.
Oh my god. I I told my friends this back home. I was like, I will never bitch about the tolls in Chicago because holy fuck. Even in North Carolina, the tolls are 450. Dude, the highest toll in Chicago is like 250.
I I was laugh. I guess in Virginia they
Well,
have
the Skyway's $13, but
in
it's the bridge that
Virginia
goes to Indiana.
they have the like paid. They have, like, I think they might be private even. I'm not even sure, but they have these express lanes, express toll lanes, and the tolls are
Hmm.
pretty high. But I guess you can move quickly. And some dude took rented a camper van and took it on there, and he's driving. He got like a $650 bill,
Yeah.
and he's like wigging out. Nobody told me. Nobody told me. and the tolling authority, whoever it was like, "Sorry, pal, your problem, your problem."
Right.
And
Yeah. I don't go on the. I don't go on those express lanes. Because there are some that say if you have 6 tires, because I got it. My truck's a dually. If you have
Mhm.
more than 2 axles, like I don't even fuck with the express lanes.
It happens. I was once going over the Verrazano Bridge, and at the time, it was one-way tolling, right? So you paid going out of the city, not coming in, and my Easy Pass bill. I never look at the thing, they just pay it, right? And
Right.
then I see I'm paying, and it's different now than they used to do. They used to bill it after you went through. Now
Yeah.
they have thresholds which you can never figure out. So I have $357 in my Easy Pass refreshment account, and so they're getting to collect the interest on it. And they've had like 3 reporters try to figure out how do you calculate this, and not only do they not have to tell you how they calculated it, it's proprietary. They consider it proprietary information. Um, it's in state law that they don't have to tell you. But the story is, so I go through the Verrazano Bridge and I got a bill. So I'm looking at the thing. I'm like, why is this so high? Why is this so high? And I had like an $88 bill for going over the Verrazano. I'm like, what the fuck? And finally got it straightened out. But I was too close to a truck that went in front of me. So they told me they didn't toll him, as if my car was a truck.
That's
And
that's happened. That's happened to me where I've been too close to the sensor, and I paid for the car in front of me. So now, like if I'm going through a toll, I make sure I stay way back.
yeah, it's
And
now.
I got this thing. This thing is good all over the country for tolls and everywhere.
Oh,
They're
cool.
like, yeah, because Easy Pass does not work in like Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, but this works everywhere across the country.
Yeah, Texas has its own. Texas has its own system. It probably
Hmm.
shares it with somebody, but it's got its own system.
No, it doesn't share with anybody. Same
So
with Oklahoma and Kansas.
yeah, I rented a car in Texas. I was in Dallas. I rent a car, and I get like my tolls were like, I don't know, $7 or something like that. I pay it on the rental car bill, and then I got a bill from Hertz or Avis or whoever it was for like $35. And I'm like, what the fuck is that for? They were charging me for renting the device.
Jesus
Um,
Christ.
but my credit card covers it. So it was like, um, I'd call American Express and then deal with it. All right, let's get through a few of these chats. Um, Mint Diggity. Uh, I had a luckily I had a cupcake and pineapple on, so I'm saving your phone call for a night when I'm desperate, which happened to me Tuesday night at a minute before we had all this shit lined up with Dave and I. And a minute before the show started, Dave sent me a text saying he couldn't make it because of his family. And I was like, fuck. And it was awful. I'm still amazed that people are here watching. Um,
And to
OG
address
Mum, go ahead.
to address OG Mumbly Nick about Tool, I I saw Tool when I was in college back in the early '90s. I would not I would not see Tool now. I because I saw Tool in God, what was it? It was a small venue. It was either it wasn't the Aragon. It was God, it was a small little theater in Chicago. But now that they're I don't like going to big arenas. If I want to see a concert, like I want to go to a small place. Like, and I would not go see Tool today.
My wife loves live music, and I'm not a fan of it, but we have
I mean, I
a
love Tool,
place.
but I just wouldn't go see him in concert today.
Yeah, we have a place at the Jersey Shore down by Asbury Park, and there's the Stone Pony and stuff down there. So it's like They have they're called the See Here Now Festival every year. Last year they had got it them fucking spacing, and I can picture the guy. Um, Kurt Cobain killed himself. What was the guy that started the band? Who was in it with him?
Dave Grohl,
Dave Grohl. So Dave Grohl's
The
and
Foo Fighters.
Foo Fighters. There you go. So the Foo Fighters were there last year. Um, we got to see what is probably going to be Southside Johnny's last concert. Springsteen was there, and it's fun. But she goes to the Stone Pony in the wintertime. They always have music every weekend, and she goes all the time. But what blows me away is there are these cover bands that are down there, and they play all over the Jersey Shore during the summer. And there's a Almost Queen, which is like a Queen band,
Uh-huh.
and there's uh, and they're fantastic. And you're like, how did they like? And it's wild because some of these, like the Pat Roddy band, somebody you'd never heard of, um, the Nerds, which you might have. There's a couple of them like you literally like when they announce it, you have to go buy the ticket because if you
Right.
wait till the next day, you're not going to be able to get it.
In
And
Chicago, there's a Metallica cover band named Blackened, and dude, you'd think it was Metallica. I mean, they've got pyrotechnics, they've got like, but they just play Metallica songs. Like I I mean, I'm not a fan of cover bands.
so I'm not either, but I like guys that are. I do understand because it's like if you want to be a musician, you almost have to be. You have to cover some stuff because you're just not going to make any money if you want to make a living
Right.
out of it. But there's a guy at the Jersey Shore whose name I don't know, who is a Jimmy Buffett cover, right? It's a guitar player and whatnot. And what's hilarious is I've seen other Jimmy Buffett cover guys, and they all wear Hawaiian
The
shirts.
Riviera.
Yeah,
Sorry, that was the place where I saw Tool.
they'll wear Hawaiian shirts and hush puppies and shit like that.
Right on.
And anyway, so I go to this bar. We were having dinner, and the guy was there. I didn't know about it. And the deal, the thing was amazing was the guy looked like a banker. He was really tall, thin, black hair, and like literally he just come from his banking job to do this. Sounded you would have thought his impressions was so good. You would have thought it was Jimmy Buffett singing the songs, but then he did some of his own stuff, and the guy was amazing. But what's really funny is his own stuff was really good, and people that was like when people took a break, from
Yeah,
watching it. I was kind of blown away. So
yeah, that's like Blackened. They've got a couple original songs, and like that's they would do their original songs, and like that's when I would pay attention because like this is what I want to hear. Like I want to like, all right, no, you guys do make good music.
yeah. Oh, Margaret Affy. I would love to see Schmuel sing Margaritaville at 3 in the morning. I was the other night at 3 in the morning. I was singing "Taxi" by Harry Chapin, um, and I can't sing for shit, obviously. And as my mom used to say whenever I would sing, "Are you okay? You sound like you're in pain." Um, so yeah, that's my thing, and I guess I'm tone deaf. Um, I don't know, but I do enjoy like I really like classical music. I like guitars. I like bluegrass. My wife hates bluegrass. And when we had XM or Sirius in the car, I'd always put on the bluegrass channel, channel 67,
Yeah.
and she would could we turn that off, please? And I don't like loud. I'm not big on loud, so I always like turn it down really low, and she's got to listen to it louder because the thumping makes her crazy. So when we go on trips, there's no music, no radio in the car, and we go to Cleveland for family, and there's like a 10-hour drive, and people are like, oh, what did you guys listen to on the way here? Nothing.
Nothing.
And she likes the her podcasts are like Smartless, I think it is, with Jason Bateman and some other stuff.
Okay.
And the only podcast that we can listen to together is Adam Carolla.
Oh, right
And
on.
and even that she in the beginning, um, I was driving her to work and she was complaining, "Oh my God, why is he yelling all the time? He's always yelling." And I'm just like, but anyway, she came to like Adam Carolla. I just want to say this and then we'll go. So OG Mumbling Nick, my landscaping boss, is a monster Kiss fan. One Halloween, four of us landscape with face paint on our faces.
That's
We got a lot of weird looks. I was Ace
that's
Frehley, but I hate Kiss too.
that's
Um,
excellent. That is so excellent. That's so cool.
I it is what do you call it? I always knew Norton was a strange guy because of his love of Kiss. And the I face painted one time and that was for Ron and Fez Halloween party. And I went as Mimi from the Drew Carey show. I had a moo on and all this makeup. And oh my
That's
God,
awesome.
I would never do it again. Like just face paint is like the most horrible thing in the world. It's really hard to put on. And then Chris Mack, you guys watch F1 at all? Practice from Australia starting on ESPN News Channel. You know who's a big F1 fan? The Sorcerer.
What's F1?
Formula One racing.
Oh,
And the Sorcerer's there. And the F1 has destroyed Vegas because they had to build all the streets now on the strip. They
they
built
did
these
that in Chicago once.
concrete barriers, but these are permanent because they're going to be hosting it. So it's concrete barriers with like rebar, bent rebar,
Uh huh.
on the top, and it's fucking crazy because the sidewalk gets so crowded. And I'm like, if one of those hotels, like the Flamingo or something, ever has to be evacuated, it's going to be like the Who in '79 in Cincinnati. People are just going
People
to be trampled.
getting crushed.
And yes, and that I think was the best concert I ever went to. I saw the Who. It was probably '82. Uh, David Johansen was the opener. Then the Clash.
Didn't he just
Then
pass away?
then the Who. Yeah, he just passed away, which is what brought it to mind. But I laugh because now it's like, that was probably the Who's final tour of the 15 final tours, and
Right.
it was great. I loved seeing the Who. I love seeing the Who. But I now understand now how lucky I was to see the Clash because that just didn't last that long, and it was great. All right, I've been in Vegas the past 2 years. They were setting up for the race. Bellagio fountains were walled off both times. Yes, and in front of Caesars, they put up stands. So you could not walk if you were walking on that side of the street. On the strip, you could not walk straight. You had to go into Caesars and then walk around. You had to go through Caesars to the Bellagio, and then you would come back out. And we had already walked like miles and I was just like, I was so done. And Vegas has a lot of overpasses
Hmm.
that you walk up onto, and they have elevators, and the almost every elevator was broken.
Oh
And
Jesus.
there was one old guy, and he was at the bottom of the elevator, and I thought he was gonna break out into tears. He said, "Well, I can't do another set of stairs. I just can't." And, I felt really and you can't hail a cab in Vegas. You have to, either get it at a hotel or call, like, Uber.
Uh huh.
So it wasn't even like he could, like, in New York, you just hail a fucking cab and at least get to where you're going. He couldn't even
Yeah.
do that. But I don't like getting involved in people's business, so I just kept walking. So that for all I know, the guy could still be standing there. Um, and that was a couple of years ago. So Cupcake, I want to thank you very much for coming on. And I
Thank you for
realized
having
that
me.
I was speaking about you telling me about the Starship Troopers Audible book, and
Yes.
I said the other night, oh, I was listening to it, and it reminded me of when I was listening to it. And what I meant to say was, it reminded me of when I was reading it, and it's so good.
Isn't it
It's
good? Isn't the
and
narrator really good?
the narrator, yeah, the narrator really hits on all cylinders. And yes, Chris Mack, Starship Troopers is a fantastic book. Um, and as Cupcake and I talked about, it was such a disappointment when we saw the movie,
Oh
right?
yeah.
It was just such a disappointment. And God, who what was the name of the writer? Um,
Um, Robert Heinlein.
Rhymer High, and Heinlein, like Puppet Master. Well, I think it was Puppet Master was also his. Um,
Yeah, Stranger in
and,
a Strange Land.
yeah, but Puppet Master was the movie was with Donald Sutherland, and it was another one where it was like such a fantastic book, and the movie sucked.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, the director Paul Verhoeven of the movie, he never read the book. So I mean that's why the movie is such a it's just a satire of fascism, and like that's absolutely not what the book is about.
right?
It's I mean, if the movie was called, Space Marines Kill Space Bugs, that I mean, it's a great movie as far as action and but it's not Starship Troopers.
Right.
It's not Starship Troopers.
Look, in the opening of that, um, which is where they're going to do their first jump, right? Or
Hmm.
not their first jump, but they're going to do a jump,
Yeah,
and the guy talks about the reverend, the chaplain, and the
yeah,
chaplain, and right, and so the chaplain's also fought, and he sort
yeah.
of
Because
explains
everybody
it,
in the MI goes out on the
and they it
cab trooper.
right, and it automatically starts different um, than the other stuff, and
Right.
you know and so you're like, oh, I'm into this. And but I and they do, and he does, how he did it, I don't know, he captures a lot of the military jargon, um where they talk about the guys with the suits, and they're like, they're more worried about we can replace you, but the suits are expensive.
Yeah, the chevron, the pips. When
And
he's
that
when he was he was at the officers when he was at the officer school. I'm like, all right, I need these pips back. And that
and
was the part where Mr. Dubois he gets a letter from Colonel Dubois, his teacher, and he's like, "Would you mind if Rico got my pips?" He's like, "Unfortunately, we lost these." Dude, I choked up at that part. Like, dude, I like it was that. Oh, it's such a good book, dude. It is such a good book.
all right, hey, I'll tell you what, can you what are you doing? Are you waiting for a load, or what's your
Yeah, I'm
story?
probably gonna be just chilling out.
All right, cool. So I'll tell you what. Let me end this stream. I'm going to start a new one, and then
All right.
and I'll send you the link and come back on because I need to get this over with. I'm violating YouTube, and they're getting whatever the word is I'm looking for. Building a channel. The advice.
Okay.
I'm ruining their advice, but people complain about it, and I don't know how to edit. So I wish I did. I could knock them off. And I'm using StreamYard, and StreamYard now will make AI clips of the show when I end. And I've done it
Yes.
with the last 3 shows. I have not watched any of them. So I'm going to end it, and then I'm going to come back on, and we'll talk Starship Troopers. All right?
Right on. Excellent.
Give
Excellent.
me about 5
Absolutely.
minutes. All right,
Right
bye.
on. All right.
Hey, guys, I'm going to come back on with Cupcake in a few minutes, and we're going to talk for a little bit, probably about half an hour, which always winds up being an hour with me. Um, and yeah, thanks everybody for watching. And as I like to say, thank you to Twitter, because according to you, I have 62 people watching me, um, and 63, and 7 on YouTube. So I just like to look at the 70. I don't want to look at the real numbers. All right, so I'm gonna get out of here. Thanks so much, and you want to hear some Starship Troopers stuff? We'll be back in a minute.